Oh, join us now. Come on, here's the theme song. Why not join me anyways? I'm just doing my thing. I'm just doing my thing. Something like that. And the song goes on and on. And the song goes on and on. No, it doesn't. Hi, how are you? Welcome. Okay, now I'm back. And in answer to your question, yeah, I passed out. Passed out hard. It was not pretty. It was one of those naps where I wouldn't be surprised if the bed pressed charges, just from just the assault that happened. So you fell as my head tried to hit the floor through the bed. It just happens. So hi. All right, I don't have a ton of time tonight, as you might well imagine, because I've got Nerd Halen rehearsal. We got a gig tomorrow night, so we're doing kind of a run through of it. But so let's not spare a moment that we wouldn't rather do something else. Going to Donald Trump in Iowa. Yep, there he is. Yeah, there he is. There he is. Okay, wait. I've got a better organized shot than this. I have to. Hold on. Is it this one? Yeah, this is better. Slightly. There we go. Now I take this shot and we move this over so I can be a little more centered. Look at me. Yay. And then the nice thing about this is, of course, that I can be a bouncing ball that goes across the thing. I can go, YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. You can have a good time. You can have sex with men. You can wait as well. This song, our song. What? All right. Well, why don't I just give the speech? Everything you've heard like 100 times, only it's even worse. And sorry, everyone behind me. All right, there we go. That's so mature. He seems excited. He's in Iowa. I wish I had my soundboard here because I don't have it. But when he was talking about Iowa values, it'd be a good one where he was at his most Foster Brooks in this one. So let's give it a shot. Here we go. Hi, chat room. Welcome. Everybody gather in. Grab yourself a beverage, a warm, frosty one, or a cold tea with some sort of a head or something. I don't know. Beverage of your choice. It's very strange. Okay, here we go. This is good. I think we're entering the right after they have finished playing Lee Greenwood. I hope. Here we go.
Hello, Iowa, and congratulations to the Iowa Hawkeyes. That was a big win today. I'm thrilled to be back.
Just the old classic touring comic thing of just, thank you, congrats on sports team win for thing that happened while I'm here, and it's in the notes. That was a great win that they won. Yeah.
It was a big win, but I'm thrilled to be back, especially on such great news as that. That was a big one.
Yes, that's the best news you can hope to get out of, hold on, I'm centering this a little bit. That's the best news one could ever hope to have for Trump out of Iowa, that a sports team won a contest that he did not watch.
You've been a great school, a great team, a great tradition, really an amazing job, and it all started right here, and we're going to keep it here, number one, right?
Yes, I'm sure the Iowa team all started right there in Iowa, and you're going to keep it there in Iowa so that there won't, at no point in Joe Biden's America will sports teams from other states become the Iowa team, nor shall the Iowa team leave to go to another state and be known as not Iowa.
Keep it here.
That's, by the way, that's what his audio sounds like on this. I apologize if it's echoey or whatever. He is in an actual stadium, unless this is just some more awful CGI.
The fairgrounds, so they broke a record tonight. In the history of the fairgrounds, I don't know how old it is, but in the history of the fairgrounds, this is the most people they've had. So thank you very much.
Yeah, most of the things that happen at the fairground charge money. So that kind of, so pat yourself on the back there, I guess.
And all of you are hardworking American patriots that we know.
Well, no, they've got a lot of free time. A lot of these folks actually travel all over the country and go to the rally after rally after. They're not, a lot of retirees actually. They worked hard at one point. We'll call it that.
Love you all. As we gather tonight, millions of Americans are realizing that Joe Biden and the radical left have brought our nation to the brink of ruin. There's never been anything like what has happened.
That will be the. I'm just gonna in general say that's gonna be the constant refrain in this. Is there's never been anything like it than ever before. Yes, before your presidency, other presidents, I'm sure, socialists and whatnot, had tried to destroy the country through making roads and bridges or something. But only after your presidency could one president who barely knows how to tie his shoes could destroy the country in 8 months. Apparently, all you did was saw through all the supports and cut all the wires holding stuff up. And
months under Biden, violent criminals and bloodthirsty gangs are taking over our streets.
Really? You didn't see last year what happened? Are there bloodthirsty gangs where you guys bloodthirsty? I didn't realize they were. I thought they were people shooting people. Little did I know they were actually vampires.
Illegal aliens and deadly drug cartels are taking over our borders.
Well, I would say, on one instance, an upside. Hold on, move this over here because that's not a hint. I'm just moving this over here to get it out of the way. Maybe it is. Hold on. Here we go.
Inflation is taking over our economy. China's taking over our jobs.
They're what? China's taking over our jobs? What? Okay, is this just, am I sure I got the right date? When is this? This isn't from 2015 or something? No, this is 2021. Okay.
Taliban has taken over Afghanistan.
Well, obviously they're having a hard time with ISIS right now. But yeah, they're basically in control. Boo, Taliban. Wow, Iowa's really taking a risky. They're walking a tightrope right now. They're on the edge.
Lunatic leftists are taking over our schools, and radical socialists are taking over our country, and we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let that happen.
Yes, we're not going to let that happen. Please see cards being held behind us that are for raising money for me, even though there's not an election till late next year for Congress and not one for president for another 3 years and change. But yeah.
You can't say I didn't warn you, but I also can't say you didn't get out because you got out and voted like no sitting president has ever received votes before.
Well, that's true. A lot of them did vote twice. So satire.
The election was rigged.
Jesus. He's trying to beat Rudy Giuliani's George Soros timing. Was rigged. And again, please enjoy this speech for what it truly is. Donald Trump being miserable every 2 sentences.
But as disastrous as the Biden administration has been, no one can blame the great state of Iowa because, boy, we did really good here.
We did really good here. How did he's just like channeling Tim Allen. Look. We did great here.
Iowa, what a place.
Iowa, what a place. It's a state.
And by the way, nobody's ever been better to Iowa and the farmers than Trump. I can tell you that. You know that.
Oh, you mean corn? Because it's high fructose corn syrup? Oh, because you sold it to the Chinese, right.
First you rejected Joe Biden by delivering him a humiliating 4th place finish in the Iowa caucuses. You remember that? He came out, he didn't even stick around, he left. Then you came out in record numbers to give us thundering 8-point landslide victory, a big, beautiful victory in November. You proved why Iowa should continue to vote first in the nation. That's right, first in the nation.
It's the primaries. They don't vote first in the nation. They have the primaries first. Who cares? The Republicans are going to want to get rid of this. Like, oh, so lazy. Hold on.
And Jeff understands that, right?
Yeah, Jeff understands. Jeff, you get it, right? If anybody.
Jeff, first
Right,
in the nation.
right, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff. Jeff. Is there a Jeff here? There's got to be a Jeff, right? I mean, it's a big crowd. There has to be at least a couple of Jeffs.
Just this week, the latest Des Moines Register poll showed that Biden is at a record low 31% approval in Iowa. Who the hell are the 31%? Is anybody here that voted? Any 31%ers?
Well, you do realize all you're just pointing out is that you only go to states that went to you overwhelmingly because you're afraid to set foot in any state that you didn't win. This is, yeah. Well, I guess Georgia sort of counts, but he thinks he won.
Well, your all-time favorite president. This is a negative poll for Trump. I mean, they don't like me too much, but we can't complain, I guess. Is that a
You can't? Then what is this rally for?
record high? We're right now at the highest we've ever been. 53% approval.
That's the highest you've ever been?
Which for a radical left newspaper is not bad, right? You saw some of those polls? Texas is in play. We won by a lot. Florida's in play. We won by a lot. Ohio's in play. We won by a lot.
Say Kentucky now. Say Kentucky. Say all the ES and S machine. I'm just saying. Satire. Just saying. All the states you mean you bought votes in? Satire.
He's down 17 points in the state of Wisconsin, and actually, we won by a lot.
No, he actually lost. Just for the record, anybody who's got to keep his score.
Twice. Remember last time they had us down 19 points in Wisconsin and we won. I said, why is that? Why do they do that? Because they want to keep people from going and voting. It's called suppression. There's suppression polls. They should be illegal, but basically...
They should be illegal. So how do you pass a law against a suppression poll? We went out and asked the question, and Trump is amazingly unpopular here. And all these people that we asked, it's sort of an outlier, but it's definitely these people really said that. Oh yeah, they can't stand him. Well, that's got to be illegal.
It's the fake news. Oh, you have a lot of people there. Fake news.
Yeah, nobody's there. This is the only people covering this are Newsmax and RSBN.
It's the fake news. As we speak, Joe Biden and the radical left Democrats
Are running the country.
Congress are trying to ram through a $5 trillion wild spending binge.
Well, 3.5.
It costs more than the entire sum the United States has spent on any war in the history of our country.
Well, yeah, it's an interesting thought to spend money building at home rather than destroying things overseas. So I think there was a dude who ran in 2015 who said something about that. I mean, he never did anything about it, but he said it a lot.
Not only is this the largest spending bill of all time and the largest tax hike of all time.
That's not true either.
This monstrosity, so dangerous for our country and so bad for children and grandchildren to come. This monstrosity is a bill to end America as we know it.
Yeah, it's going to be over as we know it. I mean, not all of it, just the parts that don't work as we know it.
So bad.
Yes, America as a largely gas-powered country.
The Republicans have to stay strong. You have to
stay strong. Have you heard what you've said about them?
Strong.
Strong. Stay strong.
Republicans have to stay strong. You have to stay strong.
You have to say strong. What in the world kind of inflection is that? What are you talking about?
You have to
The children, he's talking about debt, chat room. He's saying that they're going to be saddled with debt. Never mind the fact that the Build Back Better plan is paid for and the infrastructure bill, like the majority of the spending in it ends up obviously being an investment that will pay off multiple times over.
Fight. Bring our country back. It's a socialist transformation bill. It's an open borders bill. It's an American energy destruction bill.
Just take it for his word. Just take his word for it. I mean, you don't look at it.
First time ever we had energy independence ever. Now they're calling OPEC, Russia, and other countries. Please send us some oil, will you?
Is that what they're saying? Send us some oil? So we're begging OPEC for oil. Thank you, Benny Loco. Yes, reminding everyone to give a thumbs up. Thanks very much. They're trying to get OPEC to do more output because if there's less supply, it raises the price. And of course, if the price goes up, our industries here, Exxon, Chevron, American companies, will sell the oil overseas at a higher price rather than sell it cheaper at home. So what we want to do is keep the supply relatively high. We're not buying it. They're selling it, but they're selling it at too high a price because they're lowering the amounts because they're trying to pad their. Yeah. But don't expect him to know that.
Finish with that. We had more, by far. When I left office, we had more energy, we had more coming in, we had more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia by far, than Russia by far, and now we're calling them, asking if they'd help out. In Alaska, they killed Anwar. They've been trying to get it since Ronald Reagan couldn't get it. And I got it.
No, you didn't. You didn't get it. It went away. Yeah. You got it way late in it, and it got undone. See, if you'd won the second time, you might have said that, but it went right back to.
That's right.
Yeah, let's cheer for the drilling straight through a polar bear into the snow.
For many, many years, for decades.
Anwar, he's talking about drilling in the Alaskan National Wildlife Reserve.
Now, perhaps the biggest drilling site anywhere in the world, as big as Saudi Arabia. And now, you know what they did? They terminated it. Lisa Murkowski. That's, if you don't know that, she refuses to rent. Lisa Murkowski. All right. Republican did a really bad job for the state of Alaska.
She didn't have any power over that. Stupid. If we're talking about Lisa Murkowski.
I can tell you, it's an illegal race-based discrimination bill. It's a corrupt elections bill.
It's basically a demonization of the Democrats bill. Just anything you hate, I'll just pretend it's in there.
You look at what they have about your elections, like the elections aren't bad enough and corrupt enough. It's a bankrupt Medicare bill. It's a bankrupt Social Security bill. They'll bankrupt both of them.
Because eyeglasses and hearing aids will bankrupt both of these organizations.
And it's a naked power grab by the likes of Biden and Pelosi and Kamala Harris. Hasn't she done a great job on the border?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was like something in the order of like 18,000 Haitians down there. 6,000 of them went back. 11,000 were processed through and may either get asylum or not. But that's in the works right now. About 3,000 to 4,000 of them went back into Mexico and decided to stay there. There was a camp. It lasted about a week, and now it's gone. I mean, it sounds like there was a problem, and then a solution happened. Yes, it's a bill to create, what is it? Hold on, chat room. Hold on. It's a bill to create Godzilla windmills that roam the nation, murdering birds and burning cities with laser atomic eyes. Jewish laser atomic eyes, by the way. Stomping on running people in white helmets like ants. Yes, it's just, it's a bad meal that gives you food poisoning. It's a bill to create Godzilla windmills. Yeah. Hold on. There we go.
And Bernie Sanders is in there, too. And Omar. How about Omar?
Ilhan Omar, you mean? Or you mean the guy from The Wire? I always get him mixed up myself. How about Omar? Yeah, not one of my favorite television. I mean, obviously it's sad that the actor passed or whatever, but, you know, not a show I got to watch a lot of. I mean, I should revisit it, though. I probably, yeah. I think we all feel that way about Omar.
Omar's in there, too.
Is she? They just have her in the bill. She's just in it.
She doesn't like Israel too much, does she, huh?
Does she, huh?
Didn't she marry her brother, right? She came in, she married her brother. This
And she still got her job. That's weird, and you don't. Odd.
is nice. And they don't do anything about it. They don't do anything about it.
They don't do anything about it. Why won't Biden sick the DOJ on Ilhan Omar for allegedly marrying her brother? And I'm out here. She's got a nice cushy office in D.C., and I got to sit here in friggin' Iowa.
Thus, they do everything, right? Oh, they do everything.
Thus, they do everything?
She came in, she married her brother. This is nice. And they don't do anything about it. They don't do anything about it. With us, they do everything.
Oh,
right?
with us, okay.
Oh, they do everything. Congressional Republicans must stand strong. This is not
No, the word is strong. Say it right.
a time for Republicans to fold, to walk away, to quit, to be afraid.
To cower, to shiver, to shake, to jump down, turn around, put the right hand in, take the right hand out, put the right hand back in, and shake it all about. I mean, this is not a time for that.
Whatever happens, happens. They have to be strong.
Sure, yeah.
Don't worry about being impeached. Don't worry about
Well, they do because they've still got jobs.
anything. They're worried. One of them was so worried he was going to be impeached. He let everything happen. It was
Bill Barr. This is so weird. He's not even in there anymore. He doesn't still work there, dum-dum. He quit last December because he wouldn't go along with January 6th.
so sad to watch. I watched it. It was really pretty sad.
Was it? Did you cry? Did you cry? Was it that kind of sad, or was it kind of like, ah?
But they just don't seem to have the spine, some of them. Thank you.
Well, you did hire him, so the best people.
That was a great word.
That's good. Somebody said spine. I didn't know what I was looking for a word.
That's the word I was looking for. You need spine.
If only you had thought of that word last year, all these speeches wouldn't be full of drudging repetition. Thank you, Idlewild's Cave.
Here are just some of the ugly surprises hidden in the Democrats' socialist calamity.
Hidden in the social. Not hidden no more. Let's hear it.
According to the nonpartisan Joint Committee on Taxation, the Biden spending bill will raise taxes on working families like never, ever before.
Is that what they said? The Joint Committee on Ever, Never, Ever, Ever, Never Taxation Ever Committee.org. Boo! They said never, ever before.
Biden plan would make the United States business tax rate dramatically higher and bring it back to one of the highest in the world, and actually substantially higher than a place called Communist China. Have you?
Well, yeah, except Communist China owns 50% of your business, and then they tax the other 50% at 40% or something, 35%.
Heard of it?
No, I'm not familiar myself.
In fact, take it into account.
Oh, I know China. I thought I forgot. Guys, you guys remember. China's that country that he says attacked us with a bioweapon, and in response he sold them the biggest order of beef, corn, and soybeans in history. So I had forgotten. I don't know why I didn't.
Taxes under Biden's plan. The Democrat bill would give businesses an approximately 100% tax advantages to locate jobs in China rather than the United States. Think of it.
Yes, a practically 100%. Yeah, I'm guessing that number's not going to be dead on reality. I'm just hold on. I have to scroll through the chat to get down to the bottom. Practically 100%. Wait, run that by me again.
In China, approximately 100% plan. The Democrat bill would give businesses an approximately 100% tax advantages to locate jobs in China.
An approximately 100% tax advantages to locate jobs in China.
Rather than the United States. Think of it.
I'm thinking of it. I don't know. I keep trying to think of it, and all I can think of is bullshit.
We're incentivizing people to go to China, but not here. Gee, I wonder why. The Biden plan will build up China, and the Republican...
How? Honestly, it's a big bill. Pull something out and actually mention it. There's a clause in blah, 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 and it's not even close to true. What they mean is those guys think, the right-wing think tank that he's talking about, think that if we raise taxes at all, 100%, people are going to run to China, which they are not going to do because investors are like pouring out of China right now. No one thinks this.
Party, we want to build up America. Very simple.
Well, why didn't you do that for 4 years? That's weird. Why'd you send all that PPE to China at the beginning of the pandemic when they make it all there? That was weird.
Biden's socialist bill also includes mass amnesty and free college. Don't get excited. For illegal aliens. Not for you, but for illegal aliens.
No, it doesn't. They wanted to include the DACA stuff in there. It can't pass in reconciliation. That way it won't be in there. Thanks, Amy.
It includes a blowout increase in chain migration, and it eliminates caps on green cards for foreign workers. Lots of luck.
Yeah, for agriculture, because we need the workers.
By the way.
And that won't be in there either. That's just that's the comprehensive immigration bill. It'll be in that. We'll have this argument at some point, but it's never going to be in the reconciliation bill.
We have created more jobs than ever.
No, Jimmy Carter created more jobs than you did, double the number, actually, with fewer people in the country.
Before, we have, 12 months ago, we had 160 million people working in this country, the highest number by far.
And then you ignored COVID and 600,000 died and...
African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, women, men.
Women American, men Americans.
Graduates of the top colleges and universities.
And people with no education whatsoever. I love the uneducated.
Non-graduates, people that didn't have a high school education.
Well...
never got a diploma. Every single group had the highest numbers they've ever had.
Yes, people often at that level have multiple jobs. They have to.
Hundreds of thousands of people are right now pouring into the United States from Haiti.
No, they're not. We literally, at the peak, they were talking about 18,000, and it's the same people. Yes, he creates jobs. He just has a history of not paying the people who do the jobs, Carl. Yeah.
The people coming into our country are uneducated.
In deference.
In many cases, don't speak the language. They don't have the skills that we need to make America great again. Have you ever heard that expression?
What skills would those be? Because I've seen some of those folks, especially the pushier ones, and I'm guessing that they could probably storm a Capitol, bust a window, and shit in Nancy Pelosi's office. I mean, it's obviously they don't have a degree. You know, you're gonna want to see some, like someone's gonna need. I'm gonna need to see your riot and shitting indoors resume. Is this where he's gonna go make America great again?
They've been for many, many years. Sadly, they've been unemployed. The Democrat bill will also admit every foreign national previously denied under my national security travel ban. Remember, I had the...
That's not true. That's not going to be in there, but that's not even close to true. They're not going to just automatically admit everyone who was denied in the years he was in office. They're going to go back through, you know, the entirety. They're going to, like, Osama bin Laden's corpse is going to be given a green card.
Everyone said, oh, what a horrible thing. I said, no, we really don't want people in our country who are going to blow up our cities, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that wasn't so much the problem. I mean, you seem to think that about Guatemalan 8-year-olds.
We don't want Fifth Avenue blown up.
No, Main Street, fuck them, right? That's the fun part. Hold on, I'm going to make myself larger. I deserve to be bigger in this conversation. This is ridiculous. Yeah, there you go. This is so ridiculous. Like, we don't want Fifth Avenue blown up. Yeah, Main Street and whatever podunk town we're in right now, Cedar Rapids can kiss my ass, but we don't want Fifth Avenue blown up.
They're having enough time with crime on Fifth Avenue right now, and Chicago and lots of other places. We won in the United States Supreme Court for the travel ban, bringing in countless unscreened travelers from all over terror-afflicted countries.
Terror-afflicted countries?
And they weren't allowed to come in. We said, I'm sorry, we want to be politically correct. We want to be nice. I'm sorry. We don't want people that want to hurt our people, that want to hurt our country.
Well, that wasn't the issue. It was people fleeing those terror-inflicted countries. Like, I don't know, like Coptic Christians, for example. Ask Glenn Beck. He'll tell you all about it.
I think that's okay.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous. And the idea isn't to bring in the terrorists. It's to bring in the people that the terrorists are trying to kill who share our values and maybe are not of, they're of a different religion than some of the people in the United States, but they are peaceful people who just want to flee death and violence in a country that maybe perhaps our history, especially in the 70s, may have caused some of the violence that was there. So they might have gone to... Leave me out of this.
It will include funding for unlimited numbers of unvetted Afghan nationals to be brought to America and given free welfare and government benefits courtesy of you, the people of Iowa.
Yes, we're sending them all to Iowa. That's true, right? You guys checked, right? Yeah, all the Afghans that escaped, not the ones that helped us and their families, the primary ones. Anybody who we didn't vet gets sent to Iowa because Trump should have vetted these folks last year, but he just couldn't be bothered.
And the American taxpayer, congratulations, I'm sure.
But mainly Iowa.
You're thrilled about it as you have to struggle. And only 3% of the people they crammed into those planes, remember they said, the airlift was, that was great. They had no idea who was getting on those planes. We still don't have any idea. Only 3% were qualified to be taken to a place called the United States of America. Isn't that something? 3%.
Well, somebody who was president last year could have actually gone through the vetting process and made sure that everybody who was clearing out of there deserved taken care of. And, at this point, they just had to choose between letting innocent people die or taking their word for it or going on these. Yeah.
Going to be hearing from those people over the coming years in a very bad way.
Yes, people love to blow up the country they were saved by. Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Kevsgal. And thank you, Luis.
Right? The Democrat
Right? No.
package includes a plan to demolish the U.S. energy industry, which has largely been done in a period of 9 months.
Yeah, so it's amazing. It's almost like you did nothing to protect America. Like, it can be destroyed in 9 months. It's incredible.
Starting with a $630 billion down payment on the socialist Green New Deal, which is throwing money out the window at the expense of future generations of Americans.
Well, is there a windmill outside? Is that what happens? The money just gets ground up by a windmill, or is it float over the solar panels and burn up in the sunlight?
The Green New Deal, conceived and made up in about 15 minutes by some radicals sitting around in a room that know nothing about the environment.
Yeah, that's how it went down. I think so, right, guys? It was 15 minutes. They're like, everybody, quick in here. Yeah, we got to do this. We got 15 minutes. I got a crap on deck that could choke a donkey. Yeah, so just write down anything, like take everything you don't know about the environment and write something that will cost a lot of money, and then we'll just turn it in.
Their bill includes giant new taxes and fees on American oil, and especially on American gas production that will kill countless oil and gas jobs, devastating workers in Pennsylvania.
You're losing these folks because they're all biofuel. They're in the corn thing. They don't give a shit about petroleum. That's a Texas part of the speech. That's why they're all sitting down.
Ohio, Texas, Oklahoma, North Dakota.
Oklahoma, Simpson. Don't.
Dakota, and many, many other states.
Yeah, many others. Yeah. Jersey. Minneapolis. That's a city. No. What other states? Puerto Rico. Nah, it's not a state yet. Washington. No. Okay. What other states?
Gas prices and inflation have already skyrocketed. I saw the other day inflation is the highest in 24 years.
Yeah, because bottlenecks for supply are the highest ever because we have a global supply chain that's choked off by... Never mind. You're on a roll.
But it's going to go up much more.
Well, I hope so. I mean, obviously it has to. Otherwise, all this bullshit you've been saying will just go nowhere. And then you'll have to go, wait, you see, it did basically. They're lying to you with the fake news. That's how they'll do it.
Get ready.
I'm getting ready. I am ready.
Democrat bill imposes a new energy tax on methane, which is projected to increase your energy costs by hundreds of dollars per year.
Yeah, and it's going to make those people behind you a lot of money. Every time you fart on them, they have to pay $5.
Percentages that nobody even knows what to say, up 50, 60, 70, and 80%.
Yeah, if you don't know what to say, just say whatever comes to mind. Just pick a number.
Quickly.
Yeah, just, of course, quickly. But, it might take some time.
The bill abolishes the Hyde Amendment, forcing taxpayers to fund the far left's extreme abortion agenda, ripping babies from their mother's womb.
Oh, God.
Up until the moment of birth.
Right up until the moment of birth. Oh, God. That's what the Hyde Amendment is, by the way. The Hyde Amendment, it's the Jekyll and Hyde Amendment. Half the time, it's the doctor that helps the woman, and then in the middle of the birth, he turns into Hyde and then eats the baby.
And in fact, killing babies even after birth. You saw that?
No, you didn't. No, not in fact killing babies even after birth. We have a word for that. It's just plain old murder. That doesn't even fall under abortion laws.
In Virginia, with the governor of Virginia, after birth.
After birth, yeah. Post-birth abortions. Yeah, like the death penalty.
In the Republican Party, we believe that every child is a sacred gift from God.
Yes, and it should remain wrapped in a box and unfed, like a kitten you forgot you had under the tree. Oh, thank you, Mako Scuba. Bless you. Oh, why is he freezing? What are you doing? Really? We're waiting on this? I don't even want to watch this. I got to wait for spinning beach ball. There we go.
The Democrat Socialist bill also includes a $1.3 billion payoff to the fake news industry. These people, but we're giving them money. They don't deserve it.
No, they totally don't. I mean, is it that's just for subscriptions, right?
By subsidizing and hiring of reporters at media outlets all across the country, meaning liberal media outlets. Can you imagine, on top of everything else, billions of dollars is being spent to take care of these people that don't report truth? They don't report truth.
Well, maybe we're paying them to start reporting the truth. Maybe that's the new technique. Yeah, that's probably what's in there. We're just going to pay them to report the truth. Kind of like we paid the Afghan soldiers to fight with something that you claimed to be against, and then suddenly when we stopped, you were all mad. By the way, this is all horseshit.
They're all going out right now. They're going to buy a new car.
Yeah, that's what they need. That's what they're getting with the money. It's all for company cars. Wait, can you write off a company car? Somebody get Alan Weisselberg on the phone.
Nice one, too.
Well, I hope so. It's $1 billion or whatever. Want to get a Tercel or something. Although lefty media, they probably are all going to get Chevy Volts or something.
Wow, the media says nothing about Biden's handling of COVID, despite all of the vaccines that we came up with, therapeutics that we came up, and knowledge that we gave.
Knowledge you gave? Oh, right, about sticking a light bulb up your ass and drinking bleach.
Biden's come up with this horrible period of time. He
just came up with this horrible period of time. Biden invented August. I don't know if you know that.
Hasn't done the job because now
his job is apparently to convince Trump supporters to take a drug that Trump can't convince them to take.
Now we have more people that have died of COVID in 2021 with the vaccines, with the therapeutics. More people died in 2021 than in all of 2020.
No.
But the media is silent. They don't talk about that. They hate to talk about that.
Well, no, they've been talking about it a lot. I mean, obviously the case rates are down and the death rates are down, and we're still losing a bunch of people, but they're all Trump supporters. And you hold the key to getting them to take the vaccine. Now, go ahead and tell them that you took it and you take it and you should take it and they should take it and taking it is a good thing or whatever. Get booed and then move on.
Can you imagine if I were president? And
No, I can't. I can barely remember it, much less imagine it now. I'm having too much fun watching you at the state fairground in Iowa, dickishly wandering through a list of grievances years from any legit election with an obvious ploy to raise money, not for Republicans who are running for office next year, but for yourself. By the way, maggots and trolls, if you're watching today, hi, welcome. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to do whatever these links tell you to do and send him all your money.
these numbers, and you know, some people thought, first of all, he didn't get elected. Okay, forget that. But some people said,
Yeah, he did.
oh, sir,
Yes, it's a sir story. But, you know, 2 lies in a row.
it's COVID.
See? Miserable. So beautiful. I love these speeches. I'm really enjoying them because every 2 lines, he is just like, this sucks.
Incredible. You know, they're allowed to say that about me. They called it illegitimate. They called it everything in the book. It was fine. When I say it, now here's the difference.
Here's the difference. You gathered your supporters in front of the White House and told them to walk peacefully and patriotically down to the Capitol. But if Mike Pence doesn't do what he's saying, you guys are going to have to fight like hell, and you got to be strong or you won't have a country again. Now go get him.
Hillary conceded. I never conceded. Never.
Well, yeah, because you're miserable. Look at this. This is beautiful. Don't concede. Ever. Please go down in history as the worst sore loser ever.
Never conceded.
Never conceded, but always conceded.
No reason to concede. When
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You lost. It's not like it's a legal thing. It doesn't have any effect. If I don't concede, you can't be president. Yes, our system doesn't work. But yes, there's no real purpose to it. Well, there's decency and honor and stuff. But, I mean, those are traits other people have.
look at the numbers of these swing states, and we're going to go over them real quickly.
Yeah, go over them. Run them off. And I will tell everybody ahead of time, anybody that's watching, that all the votes that Trump alleges were fake or fraudulent or from dead people or underage people, I insist they were all Trump votes. And every time he says there's 70,000 more votes and we only lost by 10,000, then to me that means he lost by 80,000 votes. Every fake vote is his. Every fake vote that has been found has been his. Everywhere they look, he loses votes and Biden gains votes. So I insist, I'm going to stick to this forever and prove me wrong that every single vote he brings up that was allegedly fraudulent in the election was actually a vote for him and should be chucked out.
A little while, but when you hear these numbers of swing states, there was no reason to concede. They should have conceded. They did the honest thing.
They did the honest thing? There you go. Well, there's a little Freudian slip for you. What was that again?
Swing states, there was no reason to concede. They should have conceded. They did the honest thing.
Is that an if they did the honest thing?
Attacking our country.
Attacking our, they did the honest, if they did the honest thing, attacking our country.
See, they should have conceded. They did the honest thing. Attacking our country.
Attacking our country, right. Because, you know, the nation's a sailboat, so they're tacking just like to the left.
Even though the numbers are greater, they don't have the death watch in the right-hand corner. Remember on CNN, fake news, which is down 80% in ratings.
Well, yeah, because nobody's white-knuckling anymore. We're kind of going back to normal. It's back to basically what their ratings were before your shit show.
Remember they had Death Watch. Death Watch. And then we don't have that anymore, but they're losing more people, okay? What's going on? That doesn't sound so good. That's because
That doesn't sound so good.
Fake news. They are the enemy of the people. The
Yeah, play the hits.
Democrat bill contains billions and billions of dollars for unlawful government training programs and
Unlawful government training programs.
inspired by toxic and bigoted critical race theory.
No.
Crammed with so-called equity provisions. Equity, you know what equity means?
Yes, everybody gets a equal chance to get to the starting line. Equality would mean the outcome has to be the same. Equity would mean that everybody who's like running with a ball and chain attached to their leg gets that cut off, and everybody gets an equal shot at, and the best opportunity. Like that's why you get something like universal pre-K. That's the difference between seeking equity and seeking equality. That's the distinction. That's kind of important, actually, if you give a shit.
Take it away from you and give it to other people.
Is that what it is? Oh, I was totally wrong. I'm sorry. Equity is taking away from these folks in Iowa and giving it to some other people, probably Haitian terrorists.
I don't think they're going to take it away from too many of you. I have a feeling. I don't think they're going to take it away from you.
No, they're not. They're not even intending to, so that's easy.
But it's a code word for illegal government discrimination that they want to bring to everything from education to housing to healthcare to our military. They're also giving the IRS the power to destroy people, just like they tried to do with the Tea Party, Christian organizations, and just like they've always been trying to do to me. Yeah, you see that?
Yes, you're totally like the Tea Party and Christian organizations. You left out Steve Bannon's fake wall charity.
Fight like hell. We all fight like hell.
Yes, you fight. Well, it's more like you fight like shit, but I get it.
This bill is a sinister combination of job-killing tax hikes and woke fascism.
Yeah, it took a long time to make something that woke and fascist and job-killing. You can't do. I mean. Took years to craft.
That will destroy our nation.
Well, I thought our country was already destroyed, right? I've lost track.
And to think that we had 11 Republicans go along with an extension.
With an extension? You mean with not letting the country default? Boo! 11 Republicans. By the way, we should do this uninterrupted. Please continue shitting on Republicans. Look how miserable he is. It's so good.
By Mitch McConnell. Can you believe that?
Yes, I can believe it.
McConnell. 11 Republicans. And you know what it does? It gives the Democrats more time, 2 months, gives them more time to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't have to figure it out. They obviously got a job-killing, fascist, left-wing, socialist, equity nightmare CRT.
They can now have 2 more months to figure out how to screw us.
Well, we don't need more time than that. We've known that since we got in. I mean, we've been working on this for years. And no one's interested, by the way, in screwing you. No one. Not even Melania.
That's what they did. They approved it. And they should be ashamed of themselves. The
I am. I mean, we all feel a certain level of shame.
Radical Democrats will lower the final price tag to try to fool the public. They'll come in and go.
Yeah, they're going to lower the price tag to fool the public, but it's really, they're going to pass a bill that's $2 trillion, but it's really a $3.5 trillion bill. You just watch.
I don't want the 5 because it's really 5. It's not 3.5. Also, it's not an infrastructure bill. It's 9% infrastructure. The rest is a Green New Deal garbage.
Yeah, there's 2 separate bills, dum-dum. You're still talking about the idea that there was a single bill before they divided them up into 2. And even then, 9% is just ridiculous. I don't know why you don't consider broadband in 2021 to not be infrastructure. But there you have it.
That you might as well just throw it out, put it in the waste paper basket.
Yes, that's what we do. Put it in the waste paper basket.
But think of it.
I am thinking of it. You're an idiot.
Trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, more than anybody's ever even conceived of. Most of it for junk.
More than anyone's ever conceived of, says the man who upped the military spending to $2.8 trillion.
Programs that will only hurt our country.
It only hurt our country. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Broadband is shouldn't be free. I mean, it should. They should attach a bicycle motor to all computers so that everybody has to power the country just to get internet. I mean, I think it's only fair. Equitous. I don't know. You'll make it up.
The bottom line will always be a socialist transformation of America if they allow this to happen. So when they talk about the debt ceiling, we have a very powerful card there. We don't want to violate that.
No, don't. You wouldn't want to violate the debt ceiling. That's something you do to stewardesses or women in changing rooms. Allegedly.
But that's more important than what they're going to do by passing this thing that's going to kill our nation. All Americans of common sense, Republican, Democrat, and Independent, must stand firm. And you have to really stand strong and firm.
Strong and firm. And, yeah.
It's Biden, crazy Nancy Pelosi, she's a nut job, and the extreme power grab.
Well, they didn't grab power. They got it when they actually won their elections. I mean, she ran for Speaker of the House. And she got it. There was even some opposition. She still beat that, and of course Biden. Biden has your old job, and he's going to have it for a while.
And we must declare with one united voice that we cannot allow America to ever become a socialist country. That's what they're doing.
No, they aren't. It's not even close to socialism. It doesn't even factor unless you think public schools are socialism.
And I really think it's a step beyond. I think it's...
Well, it has to be communism, obviously. And not just regular communism, Maoist communism.
To be a communist country, we're not letting it happen.
Well, no, nobody's trying. So we're making it easy on you.
But these people, the media, who don't cover anything they do that's wrong, anything they do that's okay, they make it like it's the greatest thing that ever happened. And anything we do that's right, they make it sound bad, evil, and corrupt.
Or you think a lot of bad, evil, and corrupt things are good. I'm just saying, this is, maybe perhaps a variance of, you can look at things from multiple perspectives.
They are sick people, and they're really hurting our country.
That is no way to talk about OAN, Newsmax, and actually it is. I take it back. Yes. Please continue to point at RSBN, Newsmax, and OAN and call them fake news and the enemy of the people, because no one else is there.
Practically every single Democrat lawmaker in the House and Senate has endorsed this deranged legislation, and that's why every single one of them has to be voted out of office next November.
Well, not all of them are up for election next November, so...
Next November, it's coming up quick. Time flies, right? Time flies. Remember the election? We said, oh, boy, it will never end. It's just, but listen.
Is that what we said? Jesus. What? Sorry. Whoops. Oh, what the hell? Oh, crap. Jump back. Wait a second.
Walked into the remaining portions of Afghanistan.
Hold on.
Only wanted us to fly.
Hold on.
But that was him. In fact, they actually for a long time, but never like they were this last time. They use that ever happened, and anything we do that's right, they make it sound bad, evil, and corrupt. They are sick people, and they're really hurting our country. Practically every single Democrat lawmaker in the House and Senate.
Lore makers, by the way. Apparently they write a lot of Tolkien novels in their spare time.
Has endorsed this deranged legislation, and that's why every single one of them has to be voted out of office next November. Next November. It's coming up quick. Time flies, right? Time flies. Remember the election? We said, oh, boy, it will never end. It's just, but listen, in November we have an election already. I mean, think of it.
No, we don't. That's next year, dum-dum. Does he know the difference between a year has passed and this year, and that's the year, and next year is a year?
It's a year.
Yes, it is.
From now.
Thank you. Thanks for Jesus.
We're having an election. So quickly it flies.
So quickly it flies. He's a poet.
The 4 years really flew. You know, I did a couple of things. I said, I have two things. Number one is to protect and save our country.
And apparently you didn't do that. Your wall's shit and everybody can climb right over it.
The other thing was to survive against these maniacs.
And you didn't. Yeah, you lost. I mean, politically speaking, obviously you're still alive for what it's worth. I mean, you don't look that great. You're a little jowly and you sound a little raspy. Just saying.
We must send the radical left a message they will never, ever forget.
Maybe attach flowers then.
And we must do it
But in a potted plant, you know, in a vase, because they might get upset that you killed the flowers. Yeah.
Electing record numbers of America First Republicans. So we have a lot of great ones. We have so many great ones.
So great. They're so great.
Democrats' multi-trillion-dollar spending spree is also...
Spree! Why is the word spree so hard to say?
Great ones. The Democrats' multi-trillion-dollar spending spree is also...
Spree! What the fuck is that?
Many great ones. The Democrats' multi-trillion-dollar spending spree is also...
Did they have a shock collar on him that whenever he says the word spending?
Going to trigger runaway inflation. And last month we saw yet another dismal jobs report. Came out yesterday. Did you see those numbers? They were a disaster. In fact, even the radical left newscasters, I think we're looking at 600,000 or 700,000. What do you think? I think 700,000. I think it's 800,000. How about less than 200,000? They're saying whoa, this is bad. And 10 minutes later, well, it's not that bad, actually. It's pretty good. These people are so corrupt.
Even when they're on his side, they're on someone else's side. Imagine being this lonely as a human being. Seriously, you're in a crowd of adoring people, and nothing they say can cheer you up. I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying this. This whole rally.
Media, look, I don't need to do this.
See, I told you he's fucking done. He's so done.
But the media is corrupt. And you know what? When I started, I'm so proud of this. Two things I proved. Number one, the elections are totally corrupt in our country. They
Well, yeah, because you won the first time, you mean? What are you talking about?
have been for a long time.
Well, and of course, occasionally something will happen, like a guy will vote for his dead wife for someone awful like you. Yeah, so we wouldn't have seen that.
But never like they were this last time. They used COVID in order to cheat and rig. And the other thing is how dishonest the media was, because they were at 96% approval rating before I came along, and now they're in, the 20s.
The media had a 96%, just the media in general. Had a 96. Has the media ever had a 96% approval rating? Or is he talking about VHS versus beta kind of media? Paper has a 96 approval rating. Over newspaper has a 96% approval rating, unless you include toilet paper in the poll.
They're actually, I think, lower than Congress. Is that possible? We're going to win.
Well, I mean, there's a big bunch of Republicans in there who aren't voting for things that their constituents want. The Build Back Better plan and the other. Yeah, you guys.
Is that deadly combination of no growth and inflation, or what is known as stagflation? You remember stagflation?
Yeah, let's pretend that's what's happening.
The years of Jimmy Carter. That's very good. Whoa, let me see what you. Oh, she's a historian.
No, she isn't. She knows that's the only thing you can pull out.
Jimmy Carter.
Everybody, you guys have been trying to pin because Biden's an old white guy with white hair, and Jimmy Carter had white hair, and that's it. That's the bridge. That's it. And it's the last guy you could slam on, because you can't go after Obama and you can't go after Clinton. And if they go back to Clinton, which people actually remember, they'll go, I think didn't the Democrats end up with a surplus at the end of that?
Inflation. They were not good years. I was in business. I was saying this isn't good.
Well, your dad was in business. You were in, I think, meth.
It was a bad time for our country, but this will be far worse because the numbers are far bigger. Under my administration...
Well, yeah, I mean, we're making a lot more money, sure.
Had the exact opposite.
Yes. Lockdowns and death.
We had low inflation, surging growth, and the greatest jobs presidency in the history of our country.
Not even true. I mean, he can keep saying it. It's a brand.
Said that would happen.
And I said that would happen. And it didn't happen, but I'm still going to say it did happen. Gave him a little squirt right in the eyeball. It was nice.
I keep looking at these big, beautiful screens. Who else is going to give you a big screen like that?
Pink Floyd. And people pay like $200 a ticket to see them. Kiss also has giant screens. Our tickets were like $175 a piece. They were really good. I think Nickelback uses screens. They also charge admission. Let's see. I think Madonna's last tour, she had a lot of screens. That's true. Yeah. And basically any show in Vegas. And people pay to go to those things. Multiple times.
By the way, you know, we have great generals, but not the television guys. These guys are major losers, but...
Oh, you mean the deep state generals?
Do you think that General George Patton would have left?
Oh, shit. They're going to play the Patton clip?
Early out of Afghanistan?
What? No. Early would have been May 1st, dum-dum.
You think he would have left dead soldiers for no reason whatsoever? And you...
Yeah, he did all the time. I mean, there was a reason. They couldn't get him, and they were fighting on other grounds, and it was a terrible war. What the fuck? And you're not even playing Patton. You're playing George C. Scott's monologue.
I think he would have left $85 billion worth of the best equipment.
No, no one did.
We're in the world, and you know, Russia and China, they already have samples of our great helicopters. We have the Apache helicopter. We have the best stuff in the world. And they are now re-engineering the equipment. They're de-engineering.
Reverse engineering? Shit. They're de-engineering it? That's a great... Actually, that's pretty close to the truth. That might be the most truth. The Chinese are de-engineering shit.
Stuff in the world. And they are now re-engineering the equipment. They're de-engineering. They're taking it apart. They're figuring it out. And
reverse engineering it, stupid. De-engineering.
Equipment, they're de-engineering.
Shit.
They're taking it apart. They're figuring it out. And very soon they'll be building the best stuff for less money. It's a disgrace. What's happened is...
They're going to do to our Apaches what they did to the... Yeah, they're going to engineering... They're going to bring in their best engineers.
Disgrace. Think of it. 600,000 of the best machine guns, rifles, and guns made anywhere in the world. And I read the other day, there's tremendous numbers of our equipment right now being sold on the black market, isn't it?
You'd think they would use them, but they're being sold for parts because a lot of them don't work. Because the barrels have all been crimped and stuffed or destroyed.
That nice. No, General George...
I'll sell you 10,000 M16s. You can probably make one good one out of the pieces.
You know, I saw that movie years ago, and a little while ago we were at a rally, and it was a great rally, and I said, you know, could you guys ever find that opening to George Patton? Right?
That opening to George Patton?
That was a great thing that was.
Yeah, I remember that great movie, George Patton. Remember George Patton? Sure wasn't Patton Oswalt? George Patton Oswalt. You got... Fuck.
Right? That was a great thing that was. And... George C. Scott.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that guy.
George C. Scott. I don't know. Did he win the Academy Award? Did the movie? I think so. Something like that. They
I don't know. Look it up. You brought the clip.
pretty well, right? But but that was him. In fact, they actually said that wasn't nearly as tough as the real Patton.
Well, yeah, because that was an actor portraying an actual general, and
The softer version of the real Patton. But we need that. You know, we did great. We
need the softer version of General Patton. Okay, cool.
knocked out 100%
George Patton the musical.
of the ISIS caliphate. We had great generals. We had a general.
Oh boy, here comes a Sir story.
A general named Kane. I went to Iraq.
Oh, Raisin Kane. Yeah, who's named after a dehydrated grape, actually.
I don't want to embarrass him because he's not a television general. I'll end up ruining him. He'll probably come out with a bad statement about me because he was told to. But
well, obviously, then he's worth praise. How do you? What a backhanded shit talking.
we had a general. I flew in and I landed.
And he said, "Sir," and he made the Harpo Marx face. "Sir."
Night, every window was dark because they thought it would be, this is on Air Force One. I said, isn't that terrible? The lights were all off. They pulled down the shades. The plane was entirely black.
This is a great story. Gather around. I hope you have snacks.
Couldn't see it. And I said, isn't that incredible? We've spent trillions of dollars in the Middle East and we can't even land Air Force One with the lights on, right? But I landed.
Yeah, normally you'd land with like a timpani, just guys on the wings, and rum bum 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 bum, rum bum 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 bum. Total D-Day.
And it was an incredible experience. I got to meet a lot of great, real people, real soldiers.
Yeah, real ones.
Real generals, real officers. We have great generals. And I said to them, they greeted me at the airplane, immediately whisked me inside. I'm saying, you mean with all the money we spent?
Yeah, it's a fucking war zone, dum-dum.
But I met two generals that could star in any movie. They had that quality. And a sergeant who was unbelievable.
Well, the story is unbelievable, but sure, go ahead.
Been a movie star. I said, you know, you're a good-looking guy. You're a tough guy. Yes, sir.
Really? As soon as you... Yes, sir. That's what he said. He gets off a plane. First thing he does, walk up to the most handsome guy he could find and say, "You're a good-looking guy." And the guy responds with, "Yes, sir."
Could have been a movie star. I said, you know, you're a good-looking guy. You're a tough guy. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like the cut of your jib.
But I met General. I said,
I met General George.
Okay, what's your first name? Raisin, sir. Raisin. I said, you mean like a raisin? Yes, sir. I said, you mean your name is General Raisin Kane? I love you, General. You're what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that.
Yeah, Kane was the evil brother. A real Christian, I suppose, would want Raisin Abel, but who wants to split hairs? I mean, tell you what, there's parts of 2 Corinthians that you might want to...
And I said, so, General, they say it's going to take...
And by the way, he always leaves out the part where he said, "What's your name?" The guy said Raisin. He said, like, Raisin Cane. The guy said, yeah. And he goes, "They should call you Sugar Cane." And they made out. And he always leaves that off, and I don't know why.
2 years, General, to get rid of the ISIS caliphate in Iraq, Syria. And do you agree with that? No, sir. I said, you don't? Well, my Washington television general said 2 years.
The guys you appointed?
Said we won't be able to do it in that. I disagree, sir. They said, how long will it take? Sir, we can do it in 4 weeks, maybe less, sir.
As long as you just let us strafe bomb civilians.
I said, wait a minute, General. Explain this to me. Well, sir, they would come here and they're of a higher rank. I said, did you ever tell them what you have in mind? No, sir, that wasn't my job. I'm a general. I was at a lower rank. They tell me, sir. They didn't ask. I'm not supposed to do that, sir. I'd like to, and I wanted to, but I couldn't. I said, so you did a plan that they didn't want, right? That's,
Yeah, a plan you never told them that would work magic and get rid of ISIS in 4 weeks. Gee, it sounds like the Afghan exit plan. Is it written in the same folder?
What you want to do now? He said, yes, sir. It's very easy. I said, when you say 4 weeks, he said, yes, sir. 4 weeks, and you know what? We're going to have time left over, sir.
Ew.
I said, so what's different? They say 2 years and you won't do it. You say 4 weeks and you're going to have time left over. What's the difference? Sir, we'll hit him from 5 different locations. We'll hit him from the left. We'll hit him from the right. We'll hit him down the middle. We'll be launching from Syria, from Iraq, and from all over. Sir,
That's 6 places. Plus.
they only wanted us to fly from this big Air Force base that we have right here, from our big base, and we're very far away, and it's one location. Sir, we have many locations, and we'll hit them from every damn one of those locations.
Who gives a fuck if what giant bomb comes from where? What are you talking about? They're always waiting for us to come in from the north.
And you know what? I said, well, let me give that a little thought, General.
And you didn't do it.
I went back and I listened to the other ones, and I said, they're not good. One of them, Millie, actually told me that when we leave, I know where this came from. He went to Biden.
Oh, here we go.
I know exactly where this came from because he told me the same thing. Millie, a real genius. He went, you know, I put the patent thing up, compare that to Millie, but he said to me the same thing as they did. Sir, it's cheaper to leave the equipment than it
Oh, why is this the same? How is this?
is to take it. I said, now wait a minute, and especially being in the construction business, right? I said, so you mean we have a $50 million plane? All it needs is a tank of gas and a pilot. We could have flown over 200.
No, it's not the airplanes. It's tanks that the Afghan military is supposed to use. We've given that to them to use. Once they decide, it turned out they weren't going to use them, we didn't have a plan to get them out because we're not going to risk soldiers' lives getting out shitty old gear we passed on to the Afghans. So they threw a thermite grenade in it and got on the goddamn plane.
Pilots taking everything out, but we didn't have to worry because the Taliban listened to me. We didn't have one soldier killed. Think of it, in 18 months. I
Because they had a deadline
spoke to Abdul. Abdul is the man running
that you got out of Pakistani jail
the Taliban
because you freed him from a Pakistani jail.
right now. They left us alone, and it would have been fine.
All I had to do was break him out of a Pakistani jail and get out 5,000 Taliban fighters and release them into the country. And it was just the worst of the worst, and in no way affected how fast the Taliban moved across the entire country.
But what happened is we took all our soldiers out. And I told this one time before to a great group of people, very much like you,
Yeah, no, you've said this to every group that will listen.
from a slightly different state. Remember
Slightly different state. It's almost Iowa. It's Iowa adjacent.
Biden when they say, it's great to be in Idaho. They said, sir, you're in Iowa. Do you remember that?
No.
It's wonderful to be in New Hampshire. Sir, you're in Florida. So we should have known. But I know
No, that didn't happen either.
exactly what happened.
What happened?
He went up to him, just like he did to me, but it was unacceptable. With me, I said, I want every nut, I want every bolt, I want every screw.
And they're like, you're a lunatic? Why are we going to go around dust-bustering up nuts and bolts and screws? Because if you say this is the president, they have to actually do it. Why would they be doing that while the Taliban is moving through an area that we do not want to lay claim to?
Every plane and tank, I want the Apaches, I want everything else.
Well, we did. We took all of ours. We just left the ones that we were giving to the Afghan military.
And I even want the hangars, you know, those beautiful
Quonset huts.
hangars that hold these big monster planes. They're massive. I said, I want the hangars, I want the canvas, I want the plastic, I want the fiberglass, and I want the steel. I want everything out. And then we're going to bomb the hell out of the 5 or so bases that we don't want. And with Bagram, I hate to say it, but we're going to
You hate to say it? Well, okay, we're getting to the part where we were never going to leave Afghanistan.
stay there. You know, it's right next to China.
No, it isn't.
Nice to have a base like that. It's got the longest runway there is.
Citation needed.
The concrete pad is so thick I couldn't be in construction. I figured maybe 6 inches. How about like 6 feet? 6.
Wow. 6 feet of concrete.
Thick. And we left it. They spent supposedly $10 billion building, and we left it in one night, and we left all the equipment.
Yes, for the Afghans.
Don't believe them when they say they disabled the equipment. They didn't. You see.
Oh, you're saying our soldiers did not serve honorably.
A couple of helicopters, they didn't disable. They got killed for leaving the equipment, and so they disabled a couple of little old helicopters. That equipment.
So the soldiers were lying. You're calling our soldiers liars. This is the portion of the night where everybody in Iowa cheers Donald Trump shitting on our military.
Is brand new right out of a box, including the.
Yes, they all come in a box. Where's that box come from? Oh, China, right.
Night goggles, which are better than the goggles we have. They're later models.
What? We didn't give them the better ones.
And
Well, how? They're ours. What do you mean better than the ones we have?
including all of the rifles, machine guns, and guns. They're the latest model. The
Machine guns and guns? Man, that sounds dangerous.
latest and the greatest. So our enemy of many years has all of that. And it's a shame. It's a shame to see what's happened to
Apparently, it's not helping them fight off ISIS.
our country. It's a shame. But the general was great, so he called me up. I said, General, give it to me one more time.
Come on, sugarcane. Give it to me one more time. Is this the same general where you walked up on the tarmac and said, you're a handsome guy, and he said, yes, sir? And then you chit-chatted a little while, and then you said, give it to me one more time? I'm sorry.
4 weeks, sir.
Give it to me one more
See
time.
what's happened to our country. It's a shame. But the general was great, so he called me up.
Well, he called you up. That was nice. He's not supposed to, I mean, he's got people above him, but now you gave him your home phone number. That's sweet.
I said, General, give it to me one more time.
And the other soldiers just watched. Or, I mean, hey, what happens in Bagram stays in Bagram. I think, we've often thought that, certain Carolinas-based senators might feel at ease if they were more themselves. Perhaps this is what all this pent-up stuff is about.
4 weeks, sir. I said, General, go ahead. Thank you, sir, very much.
Thank you very much. I said, take it. And he said, thank you.
Now, he doesn't give a shit about television. He's a general. Generals aren't supposed to care about that.
Well, but the whole Vietnam War thing screwed it up for everybody.
And remember this, just to go back for a second. So when
Yeah, please go back to the middle, the part between you telling him he was hot and you saying, give it to me one more time.
Billy told me that, I said, what are you, a nut job? Are you stupid? That's when I realized, that was one of the many times I realized he was stupid.
And you didn't let go of him? That's weird. So you thought he was stupid. You literally thought he was stupid. You believed him to be stupid. And you still kept him in a position where he was in the nuclear chain of command. Like, that's just interesting to me. The guy who ran on "you're fired," and he kept Milley after he knew he was stupid. Okay, all right.
It's a phony
What? Hashtag the best people.
story they concocted. But one of the many times
Wait, what's the phony story?
I realized he was stupid. Such a phony story they concocted. But one of the many
Is it the China story? I don't know.
times. But you know what I realized?
What?
He went into Biden and said the same thing. Sir, it's cheaper to leave the equipment than it is to take it. You'll have a
And it is. Also, a lot of the gear we left behind is for the Afghans, or was for the Afghans.
$8 million Army tank. You'll have a $30 million helicopter, brand new.
That would cost $60 million to evacuate.
You'll have, it's think of this. Even if you just flew it into Pakistan, it's a very short flight, and then you took your time and take it in.
Yeah, just fly it into Pakistan, because the Taliban's not in Pakistan or anything. I'll just park it over the border in Pakistan.
Even if you just flew it into Pakistan, it's a very short flight, and then you took your time and take it in. We should have taken everything.
Yeah, basically just leave all the stuff in Pakistan, where the Taliban originated.
Importantly, we should have never lost 13 warriors. And nobody talks about this.
The injured?
And we should talk about it every time. We also have numerous young people who have lost a leg, lost an arm, in one case lost 2 legs and an arm. And nobody talks. We talk about...
Jesus Christ. In one case, lost 2 legs and an arm. In a lot of cases, dum-dum, 64 of them died during your administration. Name them. This asshole didn't go to... he went to 4 dignified transfers and then stopped going.
The 13, and we love those 13, and they're looking down on us right now, and they're proud of us because we know what we're doing.
They're what? You're invoking them from heaven?
But we had some terribly wounded people.
If you knew what you were doing, they wouldn't have been guarding a crush of people who hadn't been vetted over the last 2 years like they were supposed to.
And overall, they lost approximately 250 people. That's a terrible thing. Should have never happened. Should have never happened in that location. Should have happened in Bagram.
Yes, it should have happened in Bagram. I agree. If a suicide bomber should have happened at Bagram. What do you mean? What the fuck are you talking about? Should have happened. What?
Terrible thing. Should have never happened. Should have never happened in that location. Should have happened in Bagram, where you have a big wall. Actually, wall. You're not allowed to say wall. They don't like walls. You know, the Democrats don't want to build a wall. It was...
It's a military base. What the fuck are you talking about?
Almost completed. I had to start it 2.5 years later.
Jesus Christ. He diverted from that to the wall.
For one reason. I had to fight off all the lawsuits where they were suing me, and we was just about finished. They would have finished.
Oh yeah, they didn't want to they kept suing you to stop Mexico from paying for it. It's wrong.
The wall, but what happened with the general Raising Cane is called me up, said, "Sir, it's
what are you wearing?"
done."
Sorry.
I said, "Done. It's done, sir." And we defeated 100% of the ISIS caliphate.
Really? How did they get all over Afghanistan? So much so that they're giving the Taliban a run for their money while you were president. Did they just move the caliphate to Afghanistan, figuring that okay.
In record time.
In record time. It was a record. I have to check Guinness, but...
Sir, we hit them so hard they didn't know what the hell was happening, sir.
And by they, we mean women and children in villages.
We have great generals. We have great soldiers and sailors. And
not the ones, of course, that were supposed to, demilitarize the aircraft. Those guys are lame-os, right?
Everything. I'm so proud of it, and so proud of Space Force. Remember, they didn't like Space Force. Space Force is going to be one of our most important. We totally rebuilt the military, but we...
just throw in Space Force. Oh, my God.
Did this.
Please don't drink every time he says something stupid. You'll have alcohol poisoning within 3 minutes.
And that was much tougher than withdrawing from Pakistan, from Afghanistan.
Yeah, I mean, what's the difference? Pakistan's the place where you were going to leave all our gear where the Taliban is from. It's easy to get that mixed up. Yeah, Pakistan, Afghanistan, they all end up with a stan.
Tougher than withdrawing from Pakistan, from Afghanistan. We wanted to do. Yeah,
we wanted to get out of Pakistan.
And by the way, speaking of Pakistan, Pakistan would have helped us, but we didn't ask them for the help. We give billions and billions.
Pakistan did help us.
Dollars a year to Pakistan, and they don't do anything for us.
All 4 years of your presidency, this was going on?
They don't do anything. They would
Pakistan? Afghanapak?
helped if we did it the right way. So
what do you do? How do you do it the right way? You put it on you put the money on a stick with a string and just kind of jump there.
That's what happened, but we defeated 100% of the ISIS caliphate.
Yeah, obviously none of the ones in Afghanistan, but okay.
That.
Or Pakistan. I keep getting them mixed up.
We knocked out Soleimani, and we knocked out al-Baghdadi.
And still ISIS and the Taliban took over Afghanistan.
They didn't know what the hell happened.
Well, they're dead, so yeah. I mean, your car gets hit by a bomb. You're not going to go, oh.
And I'll tell you what, our country was respected again. This would have never happened, taking the military out first.
The last person to leave was a soldier.
And I told...
And he walked in with his back to the country. He didn't have his gun pointed outward like he was being attacked. He just got on the plane and left.
As I said, if you look, Abdul.
Were you crying out his name when you were with the general? Did he get jealous?
The American soldiers have left. And he said, I'm doing this like Schiff did to me with the phone call that he made up, right? But mine is probably totally true.
I'd be standing too at this.
And
I'd be at the bathroom by now.
Abdul, the leader of the Taliban, good fighters, by the way.
Yeah, naturally, obviously genetic. Yeah, Afghans are just born murderers.
He said, "You're crazy. They didn't leave. Are you crazy? Get him out of here. He's crazy."
Yeah, that's how he talks.
Sure, they left.
That's how they talk to Abdul. And when they say, "Sir, they left," did he shit himself like you just did?
Crazy. They didn't leave. Are you crazy? Get him out of here. He's crazy. Sure, they left. No, they didn't. They left, sir. And then they sent a patrol in. Called back. They said, "Sir, the Americans have left."
Did they speak quietly to that? Does he like that gentle voice? Sir, they left. They're no longer here. They're coming for you, Barbara.
He said, "I don't believe it." And then they just walked into Kabul and they walked into the remaining portions of Afghanistan.
The remaining portions. Does anybody want, we're almost done. I'll take a piece of Afghanistan. You want one with a candle in it or no. Just give me one with not too much icing. I'm not the only one watching my figure.
They didn't do that with me. They respected us. Remember this again.
You let them out of jail.
We had conditions. They weren't meeting them. We'd hit them hard.
And stay in Afghanistan.
They would have met every one of those conditions.
How? Again, this is the one that bugs me. How do you meet the condition that Al-Qaeda will never be able to be allowed to have a base in Afghanistan again? How do you know? You leave and then it happens the next day. Then what? You go back in? What the fuck? How is that a condition? Oh, that's a permanent condition. There is no way you cannot disprove that.
But remember the
5,000, Lupe. He released 5,000. Yes, welcome to Fantasy Island, right?
first condition was you can't kill Americans and you can't kill American soldiers. Not one soldier was killed in 18 months. Not one. Think of that.
It was a ceasefire, yeah. And if we didn't leave, the ceasefire would be off. Do these folks not understand that? Did you not mention that?
And remember when Biden was making the speech about 3 weeks ago, and it was a disaster for him, and he was in the middle of a disaster, but he's protected by the press. They don't even talk about Afghanistan anymore.
Well, yeah, we're out. Why would they? We got other fish to fry.
They don't even talk
Bigger fish to fry.
about it. But you remember?
No, I don't remember.
He was making the speech. He said, well, I will say that in 18 months, we've lost no soldier. And his people are screaming at him, don't stop there. Why did you bring that up? That's a good thing for Trump.
No, he's saying because of the ceasefire, because you made a deal with the Taliban to not kill anyone. That's over now.
I kept waiting for the but. There was no but.
Yes, there was. There was specifically a but in there, and it was you, actually.
No soldiers for 18 months because Abdul knew that we were going to hit them harder than any country has ever been hit before.
No, they just knew we were going to leave if they didn't do it, and so they used some discipline, which they rarely have, and they didn't attack us because they knew we were going to leave. Now the problem is you were lying the whole time and saying we were going to leave when you had no intention of leaving. We were going to stay at Bagram and still do attacks, so they were going to then it would start up again, and we would need 10,000 soldiers to protect Bagram.
Okay, it's very simple.
There's no way you run Bagram with 2,500 soldiers.
And he understood that. No, it's a very sad thing that happened. I think to me, Afghanistan is the most embarrassing event in the history of our country.
Well, obviously, you've never seen the video of you playing golf.
I do think that. And I think that, meaning the withdrawal, we went in there, we didn't fight like we should have. We became a police force instead of the military as we know it.
15 years ago.
And they didn't fight. But you know what? They should have. They did what they did. But to leave in disgrace instead of leaving the way they should have left.
How do they, what is the way they should have? What is the way we should have left? We were not fighting a war in Afghanistan. We were backing up the Afghans. They didn't want to stand on their own. Why the fuck would we be standing there forever? What are you talking about? What is the leave with honor? We did leave with honor.
When I left office, we handed Biden the most secure border in United States history.
Well, COVID did.
That includes from drugs, not just people.
Well, the fentanyl comes in through the ports.
We ended catch and release. We shut down asylum fraud.
Well, no, you just shut down asylum. So presumably there would be some fraud in there, but it'd be a minor amount. But you shut down all the actual asylum claims with it.
Struck historic agreements with Mexico and Central American nations to stop illegal immigration. And
it created a stampede of people.
Built almost 500 miles.
Yeah, Vina, you're right. He wanted people to leave guns blazing. But at what?
Of powerful border wall, which really helped us. And I want to thank the president of Mexico, a great guy.
Yeah, I mean, he is dumping his prisons and sending all of his Ted Bundys over the border to attack our country. But other than that, he's cool.
You have to put your soldiers until we build the wall. You got to put your soldiers. How many do you need? 28,000. That's a long wall. That's a long border. And he did it. He gave us 28,000 soldiers. And that's why we did things that nobody else could do.
Why didn't he put them at his southern border? Because it obviously was an issue with Latin Americans coming across their southern border, coming all the way into the country.
Now, in all fairness, he did it for a reason. I said, if you don't do it, we're going to put a 25% tariff on all the cars that you make and sell back into the... And they said, yes, we'd love to do it. It would be our honor. And
that's when they started releasing all their Ted Bundys from their prisons and sending them to the United States as murderous moles, I suppose.
Whatever it is, it worked. And we have a great relationship with him and with Mexico, and it worked out great. And then these people came and they tore down everything.
The wall's still up. Maybe he's talking, they is the wind.
Mexico gone, all of it's gone, and people are destroying our country. We tracked down the gang members, the drug smugglers, and the dangerous criminal aliens, and we threw them in jail, or we threw them the hell out of our country. Ideally, we wanted to get them out, but some were so dangerous, we put them...
Some of them are Americans.
Jail.
Nobody wanted them, because why are you giving us your criminals? What do you think you are, Mexico?
Yet Biden has systematically reversed every border security policy that we had in place. Oh, they were so good. You know, I say, and I mean it, if Biden would have just gone to the beach, just take it easy, enjoy the surf.
We would have had a lot more COVID dead.
You'd have a great border today because it was getting better and better and better. And you hear all the border
again, thanks to COVID.
Control people, even people that work for him, they're saying we should have left it.
Are they? Yeah, they're calling you now.
They didn't have to do anything. It was so good, best we've ever had. And people could come in, but they have to come in legally. Just days ago, even amid the worst border crisis in history, the Biden administration issued an order effectively abolishing ICE. These are great patriots. These are tough people. They would go into these gangs of MS.
No, and they punch them and that thing. And Biden wrote a letter and got rid of ICE. Bullshit.
13, the toughest gangs in the world, they say. And they
no, you say.
Go in there and the fist would start, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a big fist fight. It's just they oil each other up. It's Greco-Roman, strictly Greco-Roman rules when you're fighting MS-13. Some of them do they wrap their genitals and then they tie it to their ponytail. It's a long story.
And I can tell you, I have some tough people in front of me. Some of them are even tough farmers. I don't even think
tough farmers.
You people want to do what they do. And they loved it. They wouldn't want any other job.
Yeah, they just love running into rooms full of MS-13 and doing naked Greco-Roman fistfights.
And they're great patriots. They love our country, but they were tough. You know, to get rid of MS-13 and some of the worst people that you've ever seen, I mean, typically when you have tattoos on your face, it's not a positive event. It's not positive. When you
So I'd like to bring up Mike Tyson.
have a tattoo on your face saying, we hate America, and we say, we'd love to have you. It's great. It's not
Yeah, that's how it works. That happens all the time.
going to work out well.
That's where they head right away.
But when you look at what they've done, ICE has been so incredible, and they've basically taken away their power and their prestige. But they will be around because
Because no one's getting rid of them.
can do the job that they did, and that goes for the Border Patrol,
So they just stopped doing that job once you left office, like out of spite, or
our police department and law enforcement. Our police departments are incredible, and law
yeah, except the Capitol cops, of course. Obviously, those guys should be curb stomped, right?
enforcement.
Satire.
Incredible. I met a lot of them
Thanks, cute, for real.
backstage. You have them here. Incredible police. And with the Republicans, there'll be no defunding of the police, I can tell you that. There'll be no defunding.
Yeah, with the Democrats either. So
That's not working out too well.
by the way, the Blacks for Trump are there. The guys in the weird cult who think that there are real black people, and then people like Obama and Al Sharpton and people like that are East Indians mixed with Cherokee, and their whole goal is to kill genuine Africans. Yeah, those are some fun videos. Whew.
In Minnesota, Minneapolis there.
Minneapolis.
That's not working out too well. You see in Minnesota, Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. If you haven't been there, it's like Annapolis, Maryland, but it's this big. And you can carry it anywhere you go. And it's you know, if you're watching your weight, that's the one you want. Eating all of Annapolis is a lot of work, but having a Minneapolis is just fine. He does this a bunch.
That's not working out too well. You see in Minnesota, Minneapolis there.
Yeah, over there in Santa Paula.
They're not doing too well. They defunded the police and they cut it. And it's a disaster. Crime is through the roof. But it is in other places. New York, it's through the roof. You have district attorneys that are looking at Republicans and not looking at people that shoot people every day.
Yeah, they're going, I'd love to, that guy shot a bunch of kids and stuff like that. But I just, my plate is taken up with getting this asshole's taxes.
It's a crazy, what's happening is so bad for this country, so dangerous for this country. People want other people to stop shooting and knifing people to death.
Well, I think, okay, sure. Look at that. Finally something we agree on. The fuck are you talking about? People, it's true though. I've been thinking about it. People do want other people to stop shooting and knifing people. I mean, even a broken clock has letters on it twice a day. What?
Other people.
People. Other people stabbing people.
Dangerous for this country. People want other people to stop shooting and knifing people to death.
Yeah, I think in general. I think that's true across the board, really. I mean,
Other people to stop shooting and knifing people to death.
Sorry, I don't know why that's so funny. Hey. Please, stop shooting and knifing other people to death. You can do it just as long as they survive. I mean, they can be a grisly maiming I'm okay with. Yeah, don't gun me, bro.
Other people to stop shooting and knifing people to death in broad daylight.
Yes, do it at night like a respectable person. Do it in an alley. Come on. Have a sense of drama. I love how these people are nodding. Yes! Agreed.
Did you see the case in Chicago? Gets
Oh, boy, did I.
out of the car, starts shooting somebody, and they just said, we're not going to press charges. And he's right on tape and right on camera.
Yeah, he's right on tape and on camera, whatever. He was doing a demo, a reel, I think, or something like that. They're just not going to prosecute the guy who shot the person? Is that how it worked? Is that I must have missed that story. The story where the guy just got out of the car and started shooting someone, and they're like, we're not even going to prosecute. Fuck it. That's how it went.
In broad daylight. Did you see the case in Chicago? Gets out of the car, starts shooting somebody, and they just said, we're not going to press charges. And he's right on tape and right on camera. No, it's a terrible thing that's happening.
Yeah. Hang on. Oh, God. Let's see. Chicago shooting on tape, not pressing charges. Chicago violence. This is the Fox Lightfoot continued disagreement over decision. Hold on. Not to file charges in fatal shooting. This is what he's talking about. This is Lori Lightfoot and the DA. Very public battle between Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot and Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx continued on Tuesday. Two leaders criticizing one another after 5 suspects in a fatal shootout were released without charges. The very public battle between Chicago... Okay, so Alderman criticized one redeeming thing. According to police, members of a gang faction began to shoot into a residence in an effort to lure out injured members of a rival gang. Uniformed officers in a marked police car witnessed much of the activity. According to authorities, it was believed the incident was largely captured on body-worn cameras. One person was killed and 2 others were hurt in the shootout. Fox's office determined that the evidence was insufficient to meet our burden of proof to approve felony charges, and the suspects were released without charges. That decision was greeted with criticism from the mayor. They shoot up a residence in broad daylight, and there's no consequences. This is what he's talking about. And we have to understand how it's possible when this kind of a shootout is captured on film and there are no charges of any person. But Lightfoot says she will ask the U.S. Attorney's Office in Chicago to look into the possibility of filing federal charges in the case. Fox repeated, and this is in a press conference Tuesday, Fox responded forcefully. Our job is not only an arrest, but also to get a conviction. Discussing the facts of the case in the press without the benefit of all the evidence does nothing but disservice. This is Fireback Tuesday, blah, 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 who criticized prosecutors' decision not to charge 5 men who police linked to a deadly gang shootout. Fox says that as a former prosecutor, Lightfoot should be more sensitive to demands of the office, and she is disappointed by the mayor's remark. I was quite honestly mortified by what happened yesterday, particularly because the mayor, as a former prosecutor, knows that what she did yesterday was inappropriate. Saying that more than 13,000 shootings have occurred in the city since she took office, and only 2,000 have resulted in an arrest. Tension between the officials as well as Chicago. They seem to be negotiating like 2 foreign countries planning a summit. This is the Lightfoot and Fox. As gun crime continues to escalate, while the blame game is going on, nothing is changing in the streets. People should. Fox seems ready to take Devine's advice, saying she intends to seek a meeting with Lightfoot, Brown, and other police officials in the coming weeks. It is important to have the relationship with different elements of the criminal justice system so that you look into. So the idea is that they have guys shooting, but they don't know that these were the actual ones. Hold on. The actual guys who did the killing. So that's the idea, I guess. We'll see. There's obviously an argument about this, and the mayor's against it, which is of course a Democrat who he's against. But they're still fighting over it, and there's going to be federal charges.
It's sick. Actually, it's sick. And it's only going to lead to the destruction of our country, and other bad things can happen, because I don't think a lot of people are going to take it for much longer, I'll be honest.
Yeah, before they get up and start shooting.
They're going to take it. Other countries are emptying their prisons.
Yeah, the president of Mexico, tell him, yeah, your buddy.
And sending their murderers and drug smugglers and child abusers into the United States. We are becoming a dumping ground. We are a dumping ground for very, very serious criminals. And, Joe, you know that. You know, I used to say it's in Guatemala and Honduras and El Salvador. But it's not. It's in many, many countries. Many.
50, he said.
Including Middle Eastern countries.
Well, of course it would have to be. Yeah, Yemen, they swim here.
They're taking them out of prison. These are seriously tough people.
Yes, they take them out of prison and they drop them off and they say, don't do any of your Ted Bundy stuff until you reach the United States. Promise? Promise? Does anybody speak this guy's language? I only speak Spanish. I don't know what the hell. I don't know. I can't even pronounce his country. Oh, he left. Where'd he go? Did you guys hear screaming? He promised us he would wait until he got to America.
Evil people in many cases, and they're dumping them in the United. We're becoming a dump.
Yeah, some murdery Ted Bundy types aren't really evil. They're just misunderstood, I guess.
Ground. Never before has a president shown such contempt for his oath of office. He's supposed to be protecting our country, not destroying our country. Joe Biden has launched a foreign invasion of his own country. Come on in. He said, come in.
No, he didn't.
This is a sick thing that's happening to our country. Not even explainable.
Well, it's because it's a lie. It's hard to explain when you're making it up on the spot.
I used to say it was incompetence, but it is that. But you know what?
Yeah, it's incompetent, but incompetent conspiracy. It's a conspiracy of incompetence.
No, it's almost like evil. They want this to happen.
It's an evil incompetence.
Because they're paying $6 million a day to contractors to not finish the wall, which could be finished very rapidly. They're paying millions of dollars.
Well, the other parts of the wall don't work, obviously. So I don't know. They don't. Yeah. Can you go down there and kiss them and make them magically work again?
Day to contractors.
Please go kiss the wall. I know it's hot, but maybe they'll paint it.
And do I know?
Lick it. Lick the wall when it's snowy out. No, don't.
Contractors, they're making a fortune. They're making more money now than
yes, inexplicable is the word you're looking for. Thank you, David.
Would ever make if they built it. But they're paying millions and millions of dollars a day, a week, a month to these contractors not to build the wall. And you wonder,
what the fuck you're talking about?
Is that incompetence or is that just a bad ideology?
It's an incompetent, evil ideology. It's so incompetent at being evil, it's actually based on good.
It's probably a lot of both. Biden even had the gall to attack our brave border agents in the midst of this nightmarish disaster.
With what? Did he use a tennis racket or did he hit him with a golf club? How did the attack come? Was he lying in wait? Was he sitting in the bushes eating ice cream, waiting to pounce?
And remember the horses, these guys with the horses?
Yeah, the guys with the horses. Don't do the whipping motion if you're going to try and defend them.
Illegal immigrants out of our country or to keep them at bay, and now they're
at bay
fighting for their lives.
No, they're not. They just got desk jobs.
Those people. And it wasn't a whip, by the way. They didn't have whips.
No, they just used their reins as whips.
They didn't have whips.
No, they didn't. 3 orange whips? Orange whip? Orange whip? 3 orange whips. Now I want an orange whip. Shit.
What a sad thing is going on.
It's sad and sick and sad.
In the Republican Party, we will always stand with law enforcement and our great heroes of...
Well, except every year on January 6th, where we'll tap dance on their graves and celebrate the ones who are injured.
Law enforcement.
Whip it good.
And we will keep America safe. All of these calamities are the direct, predictable, and disastrous consequence of a totally corrupt election. It's all because of the corrupt election. They rigged the election, and now, based on the rigged election, they're destroying our country. That's not a mandate. That's a destruction.
Date. That's a destructed date. That's a...
They're destroying our country. That's not a mandate. That's a destruction of our country.
Derp. That's not a mandate. That's a destruction of our country. Shit.
That's not a mandate. That's a destruction of our country.
He does have the best words. I take it back.
Remember this.
What?
It's not about me.
This is all about you.
Being robbed of an election.
Then why bring it up?
This is about the American people having their country taken away from them. That's what it's really about.
Look how miserable. Look, it's just the teeth grinding. And he even hates the part where he has to pretend to give a shit about their votes.
Just recently, we got the results of the Arizona forensic audit, but the papers refused to report it the way it was.
No. Well, I'm not a paper. I did it live, and I did cover it, even though I was on vacation, technically. We went through the whole thing, and it didn't work out.
Which showed massive irregularities.
Yes, but then so does your undergarments.
Nicely. That's a nice word. A few of the findings. 23,344 mail-in ballots came from people who no longer lived at that address. Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love the soft sarcasm. Yeah, all Trump voters trying to vote twice, those should be thrown out. You lost by 40,000 now.
The entire margin in the state, remember, or as they say, lost. We did.
Yeah, you lost. Uh-oh. Little bunny fuck you showed up. Don Jr.'s been talking to Pops, and little bunny fuck you, little bunny fuck you.
Lose. But the number they concocted was 10,457. That's what I lost by, 10,000 votes, a little more than 10,000. There was no chain of custody, which you have to have, provided for, listen to this, no chain of custody for 1.9 million mail-in ballots. Now think of that.
Which is bullshit. Of course there was. Yes, there was.
We need 10,000.
Yeah, and now you're saying you've lost by 310,000.
There's no chain of custody for 1.9 million. There were 2,500 duplicated ballots with no serial numbers. Oh, they have to have a serial number. What happened to the serial number?
Well, they looked into those, and actually they favored you and Jorgensen, so that's why they threw those out and you lost more votes. That's actually where you lost votes. You lost 241 of those.
There was also missing serial numbers on thousands and thousands of adjudicated ballots. At least 1,009.
Adjudicated means a Republican and a Democrat signed off on it.
100 blank mail-in ballot envelopes were discovered. Well, it's not supposed to be blank.
Well, that's because they delivered them in person.
There were numerous bad signatures on mail-in ballot envelopes.
Yeah, sit down. You guys rest you're gonna need to save it up for we're gonna make America strong again and all that shit.
It should not have been counted. These are all things.
Yeah, settle in.
That they have. 2,008.
When you lose blacks for Trump.
1 votes were cast by people who had moved out of the state. Oh, that's wonderful. But, we're talking about Arizona. You're supposed to live in Arizona.
Are you? I'm not supposed to. Are you supposed to? Are we all supposed to live in Arizona? I don't want to. I mean, I like the place, but that's a little much.
10,324 voters might have voted in multiple counties. Oh, well, that's okay. I vote here. Let's vote in another county, too.
Yeah, that sounds like a Trump voter. So you lose 10,000 more votes.
Maybe
so far you lost Arizona by 2 million votes. Let's just call it.
2 or 3 or 4. 280.
Yeah, his campaign had people who tried to vote twice and in multiple places because they thought there were illegals voting. And, yeah, none of this happened. This is all horseshit. And the report doesn't say this.
4,412 ballot images were, quote, corrupt, they quoted, corrupt or missing.
No, they were in a different file, and they were there the whole time.
Oh, but I only lost by a little more than 10,000.
Well, no, you've lost by my count, you're at 2,008,000 something.
In addition, the auditors discovered that millions of the election-related files, the files, were deleted.
No, they weren't deleted. No, they weren't. They were deleted off the voting machines and stored and archived like they're supposed to be.
During and after the election in violation of
During and after. Yes, they were deleting files live, mainly Biden votes.
federal law,
Again, like I said, it's now 3 million. You lost Arizona by 3 million votes. How's it feel?
including a purge of the election management system software the day before the audit began. Oh, I see.
Oh, I see.
And the Justice Department was scared or impotent. They didn't want to do anything about it.
Well, you hired them.
It's been going on for years, but never like this. This, again, they used COVID in order to cheat with all of these ballots and all of this early voting and late voting. Likewise,
Or you're a loser. Or I'm just saying, Occam's razor. That's also, it's a distinct possibility. I'm just floating it. I'm not saying that that's what happened. It's just not only did you lose, but you lost by more. Just
the Supreme Court refused to hear the case by Texas and almost 20 other states, and now their approval rating is the lowest it's been in memory.
So sometimes doing the right thing isn't popular.
Lowest approval rating in memory, and I believe.
Well, that's also because of the letting the Texas vote, abortion ban stay.
It's for the reason.
Yeah, it's not. It hasn't dropped because of the Texas abortion ban that they let stay in place. It's because you were cheated out of the election. I'm certain of it. I mean, it didn't happen right away.
That they refused or didn't have the courage. They rule against me.
They're impotent. You left out impotent.
All the time. Very personal rulings. They didn't have the courage to do something about the election. And I believe that's the real reason their ratings or their approval numbers are so low.
Well, yeah.
These horrific findings are now in the hands of the Arizona Attorney General, and let's hope that he does the right thing for our country. I don't know that he will.
I don't know. He knows Mike Pence personally.
I don't know that he will.
I don't know, but we're going to go down there peacefully and patriotically, but if they don't do what you want, you're going to have to fight like hell. So let's all get in our pickup trucks and drive to Arizona.
But let's hope he does. Our country needs it. Arizona needs it. And with all of those numbers being so horrible, we did.
Miserable. No, you didn't. We did. We totally did.
Thank you.
Thank you. That sounds like somebody who believes it.
Very, very sad for our country. The whole world laughs at us on this, too.
Well, yes, the whole world is laughing at you and these folks. That is true. It's fairly hilarious.
The border, Afghanistan.
Yes, they're laughing at the fact that your shitty wall doesn't work and never did, apparently, or stopped working the minute you stopped being president, like it's some sort of magic trick. And then, of course, that you said you were going to get out of Afghanistan and you never did.
With all of those numbers being so horrible, Arizona...
Oh, yeah, that's right. By the way, thank you, trolls who are with us today. Obviously you could watch this without my commentary, but I appreciate you being here because it drives up our numbers and it helps us spread across the algorithm. Don't forget to give a thumbs down and leave a comment. If you write something in the chat room, it tells the algorithm that this is an engaging show and makes people pay attention, in which case it raises our ad rev. I'm not kidding. Hi.
Was, in my opinion, the least corrupt of the other swing states. I think it was the least.
Yes, of in general. Do you have a pecking order of corruption?
Corrupt. It was so corrupt. You know, they use the word determinative. That means, are there enough votes? Like, for instance, if you had 300 dead people voting, but you needed 10,000 votes, I wouldn't even talk about that. But we have a determinative result many, many times over.
Well, except for the fact that all the votes you're talking about, if they did exist indeed, which they don't, but if they did, they would lower your count. These would not be Biden votes. These would be Trump votes, and they would all get thrown out, and you would lose by more. Prove me wrong. Go ahead. Try.
So many times over. Otherwise, I wouldn't bring it up. It was recently reported that 43,000 absentee ballot votes were counted in DeKalb County, Georgia, that violated the chain of custody rules, 43,000. Georgia was decided by only 11,779 votes.
Right. So basically, you're in the whole 40,000 votes now, 47,000.
In other words, I needed 11,000.
No problem.
779 votes. And they have 40,000 here and 20,000 here. There were many other infractions in Georgia. But the Secretary of State, Raffensperger, and the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp,
never interrupt when they're
elected by giving him an endorsement.
They're attacking Republicans.
For that recommendation to
let it
endorse
ride.
This guy. Absolutely refused to do anything about it.
Yeah.
He hurt our party and he hurt our country very badly. Kemp was in last place when I endorsed him, and he ended up winning because of my endorsement in a landslide.
Yeah, that's why.
He's afraid of
Thank you,
Stacey
Strandberg.
Abrams. I don't know what the hell that she's got, but he and the Republicans, but he is afraid of Stacey Abrams and refuses to take on the corrupt Democrats in the state of Georgia. Just refuses. I know it's fraught with danger.
It's fraught with danger. Thank you, Stan Boney. It's fraught with danger, like an Agatha Christie ending.
Fraught with danger, but
Yeah, say that twice. Fraught with danger.
I know it's fraught with danger. It's fraught with danger, but you have to do it. It's
Fraught with danger. What the
country. But think of this. I win
Thank you. I appreciate that. Can't Stop Lying. I've got about a half hour, and then I got to bail.
Alabama. I love Alabama. I win Alabama by a record vote. A record.
And then Mike Lindell comes in and says there were 100,000 fake votes, which, of course, are all Trump votes.
South Carolina by a record vote. But right next to them is Georgia, and I lose by that much. Doesn't work that way. A new investigation.
Yeah, it does. All the states are connected except for Hawaii and Alaska, dipshit.
By True the Vote alleges a gigantic illegal.
I win New Mexico, and then, or I win Utah, and then 2 states away I lose California? I don't think so.
Ballot harvesting operation involving large numbers of people throughout the state of Georgia and many other places. Why aren't they investigating this stuff? They are not investigating it.
Well, because it's a state run by Republicans, and they know that you were paying for the ballot harvesting, and they don't want you to get caught, so they're trying to cover your ass. Satire. YouTube gods. I'm just kidding about this.
Jody Heiss will end up taking over that job, and he'll investigate. Congressman Jody Heiss gave up his absolutely guaranteed seat because he saw what was happening, how corrupt it is in Georgia. Also in Georgia, everybody's heard the water main break story, right?
Yeah, tell us to us again where it happened at night, even though it happened in the morning, and it didn't affect the vote count. And yet that's why everybody stopped at night, because of something that happened the next morning.
Where people were rushed out of the vote tabulation room because of a water main break. There's a water main break.
Is that oh God, this is the story.
Tabulation room because of a water main break. There's a water main break. Everybody leave. They all ran out.
Is that how it went? Because it's not really how it went down.
But there was no water main break. Only to see a crew of Democrat operatives or whoever.
Yeah, probably Chinese agents.
Come back and start pouring votes into machines from boxes that mysteriously appeared from under a table.
Yeah, that was the night before. That was them finishing their work for the night before they left because they had to. And the water main break was at 6 a.m. the next morning. Now, I understand. We've all seen Inception.
From under a table. And the governor found nothing wrong with that. And
well, obviously, it would be very wrong if we were missing 9 hours from that night, like the whole Earth had been abducted by a UFO.
The Justice Department found nothing wrong with that. And it's on tape.
Thank you, Virtue Ethics.
And it's like baseball now and football. They do action replays.
Instant replay. What the fuck?
It's like baseball now and football. They do action replays in magnified fortune.
What? What? Magnified fortune? Action replays in magnified fortune? What the fuck was that?
Oh, they do action replays in magnified fortune.
Magnified fortune. What the what? Action replay in magnified fortune. Holy shit. What? This is a good one. This is what?
Football, they do action replays in magnified fortune.
What? What? CSL, we have another one. Right at basically right under the wire. What the fuck is he trying to say? Magnified fortune? What? I honestly don't know what the tail end is. I know he meant to say instant replay.
Football, they do action replays in magnified fortune. They have a fashionable magnified tape.
They have a fashionable magnified tape.
In football, they do action replays in magnified fortune. They have a fashionable magnified tape.
Sure.
And you can see just about everything.
Yeah, just about everything. Yeah, I know. It's like X-ray, but better. What is he saying? What the fuck was that? Hold on.
Plays in magnified fortune. They have.
Oh, say that again.
With that, and it's on tape. And it's like baseball now and football. They do action replays in magnified fortune. They have a fashionable magnified tape, and you can see just about everything.
A portion.
It's a sad thing.
It is a sad thing. See the shit. I don't know what that is. Magnified fortune. Yeah, seriously. Fucking hell. And tell me again how Biden is slipping. Please someone just go on and on about how Biden can't get a sentence out, and hold on. And that he doesn't know where he is and what state he's in.
In football, they do action replays in magnified fortune. They have a fashionable magnified tape, and you can see just about everything. It's a sad thing. I think they have cases where they had the same one 3 times, 4 times, 5.
No, they don't. But can someone please? I know we have some maggots and some Trumpsters. Please come to his defense. Please tell me how this man, who just said whatever the fuck that was, has any room to make fun of how Joe Biden, who's had a lifelong stutter, talks. What the fuck? What was that? What was that? Where? What? Like magnified fortune, and they have a fashionable what?
It's a sad thing.
Hold on.
Tape. They have a fashionable magnified tape.
Yeah, I mean that makes that makes less sense than the words he fucking just made up. They have a fashionable magnified tape. What was in the teleprompter? What was that? It has a P and he saw an F? Seriously, I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm just waiting for someone to explain to me how this qualifies as the best words. Hashtag the best words. One more time, and then we got to move on.
Found nothing wrong with that, and it's on tape.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like baseball now and football. They do action replays in magnified fortune. They have a fashionable magnified tape, and you can see just about everything. It's a sad thing. I think they have cases.
Say porn? You can see just about everything? Honestly.
This is where they had the same one 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. But that was...
No, you didn't see them do that at all.
All a fake story. There was no water main break. And then they actually said, no, the water main break took place 250 miles away, somebody said. I don't know if that's correct or not, but they...
Why bother looking it up? It happened 8 hours away from what you're talking about.
Looking all over the place for a water main. That didn't work out too well.
Jesus Christ. Just we're at a wandering point. Like, did the teleprompter just break? Is he going to go over there and knock it over?
So Georgia is very, very sad, and the law they passed is...
Georgia is sad. Georgia.
Tough enough, by the way. They weakened it because Stacey Abrams wanted it weakened. She wanted it weakened, and they do whatever she says. Pretty amazing. I don't know. Hey, maybe she'll be running for president. I'd like that. You know? Let's run against Stacey Abrams. I'd like that.
No, you wouldn't.
Pennsylvania, There were reportedly hundreds of
Because say what you will, but that woman knows how to get out the vote.
thousands of more votes than there were voters. Oh, I see.
No, there weren't.
Philadelphia, more votes than voters. That's a tough one to explain.
Well, I can explain it. It's bullshit.
Why didn't they do something about that? Hopefully the people of Pennsylvania
Well, obviously they threw out a bunch of fake Trump votes, and that evened it out.
are angry that this can be allowed to happen and will not allow the Republican majority to be reelected if they don't get to the bottom of it fast. But there's no getting to the bottom. We won the state. You know, I was up by massive numbers on Election Day.
Yeah, you mean before they started counting the mail-in votes?
It was even, the news was saying, wow, what a big lead in Pennsylvania. I love Pennsylvania. I went to school in Pennsylvania.
Well, citation needed. I know you have a degree from there, but I'm going to guess it was paid for. Just bought. Yeah, what's the difference? University, college. Did you show up?
But what a great state, and what great people.
But, you know, corrupt as hell and obviously criminal.
And I was up by so much, all of a sudden,
Over the course of 3 days?
the booths closed, the tabulation centers are closed,
The booths closed. Yeah.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Toll booths he's talking about.
And shortly thereafter, we're tied.
Right, shortly thereafter when they started counting the mail-in votes.
And then we're losing.
Right, that's pretty much it. Yeah, look at his face. Just enjoy it for a second. I know it's awful, but it's also funny.
By just a little bit. It's always, we're just losing by just a little bit. No, it's a disgrace. And the U.S. Attorney said that he was told by the Attorney General
Yeah, talk to Al Gore about losing by a little
not
bit.
to do anything. U.S. Attorney was a pretty tough guy.
Yeah, they have fashioned the tape to magnify portions of it. Fuck, my brain is melted figuring that one out. Yeah, David, that's I was like they magnified portions of the tape to see what was there. That's where I was going with it too. It's still frigging gibberish. Thanks, David. This is oh god, it's pitiful. I'm going to stop at the 1 hour mark on this, and I will pick up the rest of it on Wednesday because tomorrow I've got a Nerd Halen show, so I'm not going to do
He was
this.
told not to do anything by the Attorney General.
I got to drive down to the gig, and it's going to take a while.
The Attorney General, I think, didn't want to have problems. He was very worried about certain things with regard to himself, and I think it was probably...
Yeah, well said. Yes. Now we're just at like he's smelling almonds at this point. Is this a burnt toast moment?
He was very worried about certain things with regard to himself, and I think it was probably the easy way out, but so bad for our country. The U.S. Attorney of Philadelphia, in the Philadelphia area, said, I was told, in writing, said I was told not to do anything, not to pursue it, and Philadelphia was so corrupt. Pittsburgh was very corrupt, they say, but think of it.
You know, the cities with a lot of black people in them.
More votes than you had voters. That's a pretty easy one. We don't
Yeah, it's easy. It didn't happen.
have to go into a lot of detail. That's a pretty easy one. In Pennsylvania, thousands of voters reported receiving at least 2 ballots in the mail, and many others reported receiving mail-in ballots without requesting them. They just happened to flow in. They flowed in.
Well, yeah, because people couldn't vote in person because of fucking COVID. So they didn't have to ask for one, which is so weird. Like, I don't know. What is the alternative in that circumstance?
On Election Day, thousands of people were complaining that they weren't allowed to vote because they were told that their ballot had already been cast. How many people, you're in Iowa, you had a good clean, you have a great governor, you had a clean, who happens to be here? Where is she? Where's your governor? Stand up. Stand up, Kim. Great governor. I'll be introducing her. But no, she did a great job. Kim, if you had more...
Stay on topic. You're Philadelphia, some sort of letter where they weren't allowed to pursue bad voting.
votes than you had voters, would that bother you? When they say, sir, you have more votes than voters, and they don't want to do anything about it?
Yeah, that's how people react.
They complained vehemently. Some laughed and discussed. Think of it. People walk in, and they're proud. And the Republicans tend to vote on Election Day, and the Democrats tend to use ballots, right?
Yes, yes, Democrats tend to use ballots in elections. Fucking
maybe they're better off using ballots the way it happened.
Sure, yeah. Using a ballot to cast your vote. I know it's crazy. It sounds nuts.
It's a shocker, but
no, this is the shocker, and it's the one day of the year it's not appropriate is Election Day.
People would walk in and they were proud people. They don't want anybody playing with the ballots. They don't want anything to go wrong. So I'm going to vote on Election Day. They get up and they get out and they vote. And they go and they say, I'd like to vote. I'm sorry, ma'am. You've already voted. I haven't voted. I just came here. No, ma'am, I'm sorry you voted. This happened by the thousands and thousands.
Yeah, you told your voters to vote twice. None of them filed charges or followed up with the Secretary of State. There are not thousands of reports of, I showed up and my vote had already been cast. They didn't even cast a provisional ballot going, this is ridiculous. They didn't make a stink about it. They just fucked off. And you know why? Because they knew they were committing a felony. These are all Trump voters. They voted by mail, and then they voted in person because he was telling them, I don't trust the whole thing. They're going to get rid of your vote. Go in there and vote. And they'll go, yours already counted. It's right there. Like everybody else's that voted already. Yours is right there. No, I didn't. Are you trying to vote twice, ma'am? No, I didn't vote. That's not a real vote. Would you like a provisional ballot so you can vote? And if that turns out to be fraudulent, we'll make sure that your vote counts. No, I'm good, stupid election.
And you know what? Some would walk out laughing in disgust. Some walked out crying. So many complaints. It's such a disgrace.
Laughing in disgust? Oh, you mean like, yes, I almost got busted. I was laughing like, hoo-hoo.
There's never been anything like this ever happened in our country before. And
well, yeah, and you're a lunatic. You're a special kind of lunatic. We've never seen like a sore loser or any kind of pathetic response like this before. It is extraordinarily pitiful. Yeah.
I think everybody has a good idea.
I have a good idea. I can't say it on YouTube though.
Those votes. You ever see some of those so-called lock boxes? I call them unlocked boxes.
It's cute. It's a nice turn of phrase. I mean, I don't know who writes for you. And do they need any more crayons?
97% of the vote goes to Sleepy Joe Biden. 97.
Of the mail-in, and the majority of the people who voted on the day voted for you. Yeah, we know this.
I said, I did really well in that state. I don't think I only got 3%. You got to look at those boxes. You have to look at the tabulation, at the numbers.
And they did, and you lost again.
And
you lost more votes.
Boxes. In Michigan, the legislature found that over 300,000 people
Thank you, Francie.
were listed on the voter rolls, even though they hadn't voted in over 20 years. Oh.
Yeah, they re-registered. There was a huge get out the vote. Who cares?
And in Detroit,
people were driven to vote against you. It's a miracle.
Which is known as the single most corrupt election venue in the country for many years. But nobody wanted to look at that. There were many more votes than there were voters. And if you saw the percentage of errors on the vote, it was almost infinitesimal, where even 4 years ago, when you didn't have all the mail-in ballot and all of the, it wasn't like it was.
He's talking about signatures. And what he means is like the signature matching, there was a much bigger percentage of signature. Now, remember, if they give you the percentage, ask for the actual number. If they give you the actual number, ask for the percentage. You want the whole picture. And in this case, back when fewer people voted by mail, the percentage of people who are voting by mail, especially in those circumstances, who sign their ballot, are older. Some of them have diseases that affect their motor skills and the like. And there's a reason why they don't leave the house to go vote. Whereas this time around, millions of people voted by mail. And so the percentage of those people that their signature was off from the original signature is a lot lower, simply because these people all have their faculties and were being very careful to make sure that their vote was counted.
This time, they had 4%. This year we had none. With mail-in ballots, they had almost nothing.
Right.
And then I have...
Because there were millions and millions, and at the percentage point, it drove that 4% down to like 0.02%. Same people, by the way. Bigger crowd.
Listen to people, and they say there was no fraud.
Well, that's not true. Obviously, that dude who murdered his wife and voted for you with her ballot.
There was no fraud. Over 40 years, bellwether counties have correctly predicted every election. Bellwether county, it's a big deal.
Yeah, except this time because mail-in voting changed everything.
I won almost every bellwether county, more than any other president. I won 18 out of 19. No president has ever done that. 18 out of 19.
Yeah, but the rest of the state that didn't get their voting machines choked off actually got access to voting, and they voted you out.
If you got just a small number, you win. I won 18 out of 90.
Do you? You just got to win those counties to win. It's not even a vote to be the president of the United States. It's the election to be the president of 18 counties.
Any president's ever won.
Yeah, he lost the 100 others in the state, exactly.
Think of it. We won 27 out of 27 toss-up House races. We won all 27.
So were theirs fraudulent?
So they like to say, well, the people in the House were more popular than Trump. No.
Yeah. Yeah, they were.
I made robocalls for them. I made calls for them. I helped them.
And they won anyways.
And some of them said to me, a lot of them said, you know, it's impossible. We got X percentage of vote. I got more than you. But you were much more popular in my district than I was.
Apparently not.
It's amazing.
Amongst Republicans.
That's what happened to our country. I had numerous calls from people saying...
A lot of independents voted for Republicans in the House and in Senate races while they voted against Trump as kind of a balancing act.
Sir, it's not possible that I beat you. Every poll, there was no way that I beat you. This
and it's weird that people would talk to you that way, considering how you feel about ass kissers.
election was rigged. They said that.
Did they? That was nice. That basically, like, do you have a safe word?
The election was rigged.
Thank you, Gina.
And no presidential candidate has ever lost an election while winning Florida, Ohio, and a place called Iowa.
Well, it's the first time for everything, dumb fuck.
First time it's ever happened.
Yeah, congratulations. You blew an entire tradition. That's right. You sucked so bad that even the hack concepts of election couldn't save you.
So think of it.
Oh, I'm too loud and he's quiet. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. We'll see if this will come up a little bit. And I'll bring this. This guy got bumped maybe.
Think of it.
Hey, how about that?
Think of it.
I'm
In
thinking.
the history of our country.
Oh, because he went, I don't know why, but all of a sudden they went, the audio went mono on their site. And it was a stereo for a while. And then it's gone, it's just one channel now. Sorry.
If you win Iowa, Florida, and Ohio, no president has ever, if you win that, you don't lose.
Except
Never
you.
happened. All these
Yeah, except you. Amazing, huh? Congratulations.
elections.
You're special. How does it feel? Good for you. Good for you.
So many years, never happened. Thank you very much, Iowa. We love you. Thank you.
Jeez, they're starting to flag, so you got to toss a bone.
Joe Biden lost with the African-American population to former President Barack Hussein Obama in every single state other than the 5 swing states. In other words, the only states that were going to determine the election, although I think a lot of other states were corrupt also.
Yeah, the ones that, like, obviously, Ohio, Kentucky, Texas, and Florida. Yeah, ES&S machines.
But the only swing states, the swing states that determine, that's where Biden won with the African-American population.
Uh-huh. You mean the swing states that were going to determine this election had an outsized number of African-American voters, which you did nothing to bring into the fold for Republicans? and arguably pushed against the entire time you were in office. But okay.
I don't think so.
No, you don't think so? Okay, well then, shit.
I don't think so. I don't believe that. In other words, the election was a fraud, and if we want to save our country and make America great again, we have only one choice. We must elect strong and unyielding America First Republicans at every level, and we must pass a complete overhaul of our entire election system.
Yeah, a complete overhaul. We want a Xi Jinping level system. Permanently installed leader for life. We need to, as soon as you get in, allow the president to get rid of term limits by executive order.
To ensure it's free, fair, honest, and able to be fully and quickly audited.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, and you lost again. Just miserable. Okay, I've got 3 more minutes. Love you guys. Sorry, we'll do 3 more minutes of this.
I tell a lot of these Republicans in Congress.
Oh, fuck, the same stories over and over again?
They don't want to get involved, and I say, go ahead, let's go. Go.
Jesus, what a sad sack. Thank you. You guys like me? I like me too, kinda. Yeah, it's just a disgrace. Look at him.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm over it. Thank you. That's good. Thank you. Yeah, nothing's working tonight, honey. No. I'm gonna need to pop a pill. This is not. Yeah, it's just pitiful. The old stuff isn't working anymore. It just isn't. The mojo's gone. I don't know what to tell you. I need to see my doctor. Maybe I need an implant. One of those pumps like Larry Flint had. I don't know.
Thank you for your support. You've been incredible. I always been incredible. But I tell a lot of these Republicans, some rhinos, but people that do like us, people that love the country, sir, think to the future. You shouldn't go back to the past. You have to think. I say,
oh, no, not me. Please dwell on the past.
Oh, I've been doing this stuff for a long time now. Not as long as most of them, but for a long time.
Well, yeah, you did have one shot at it, and you failed.
And I'm telling you, the single biggest issue, as bad as the border is, it's horrible. Horrible what they're doing. They're destroying our country. As bad as that is, the single biggest issue, the issue that gets the most pull, the most respect, the biggest cheers, is talking about the election fraud of 2020 presidential election.
Oh, I see. So this is the best fundraising material you can come up with. This is the shit that drives those idiots crazy and makes them more likely to donate to your site right here, to this bullshit. I see. So it's a strategy. I see.
Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And these guys will...
Nobody's ever seen a reaction to bullshit like this before?
And they mean it. You have some bad guys, and then you have the Democrats. They don't want to be caught. A lot of the steal... A lot of what they do is they don't want to talk about it because they know we're so close. They don't want to talk. And when they say cancel and cancel culture, you know why it's canceled? It's not canceled for any other reason. It's canceled because they don't want anyone talking about the election. They don't write about it. I'll bet you their damn cameras went off. They don't talk about it. They don't write about it.
Well, it's the only networks that like you. Again, no one else is there.
Because they know they got caught. They know they got caught. All you have to do is listen to the numbers.
I listened to the numbers. It didn't work. It didn't really do it for me. I don't know what to tell you. I did. I've listened to the numbers multiple times from different people, too. Just.
And remember what I said.
Oh, yeah. How could I forget?
Arizona was more honest than the other states, in my opinion. Much more honest than some of them. But the single...
Oh, you mean the part where you lost?
The biggest topic that they want, people that love our country, because they said, if you don't solve this, people aren't going to vote in 22.
Yes. Yes. Yes, this. Yes. Yes. More. Hold on. Back up. Here comes the truth. Oh. Here it comes.
Because they said, if you don't solve this, people aren't going to vote in 22 and 24.
Look at that dude in the red hat. Watch. I'm going to back it up. Watch them start shaking their heads.
They said, if you don't solve this, people aren't going to vote in 22 and 24. They don't want to go through this again. When we have numbers.
Look at that. Just,
When I go to.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, can we just bask in that moment for a second where he's just saying the quiet part loud so brutally and stupidly?
Arizona or Pennsylvania, Butler, Pennsylvania. I had 58,000 people show up in a small town in the middle of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, from states all around, not all from Pennsylvania. Many of them have seen the same fucking rally multiple times. So what?
Just before the vote, and I said, it's not possible to lose this. That's like the ultimate poll. He would go there and he'd have 8 circles and he couldn't fill them, so the press would stand there.
That's because he wasn't having rallies because we were in a pandemic, dumb fuck. The literal sign of his support was that he was taking this seriously and you were not.
Couldn't fill 8 circles. We had 58,000 people. I'd go to Arizona.
Yeah, technically, though, some of them died before Election Day. So in those voting irregularities you were talking about where people voted, dead people voted, that was some of the people at your rallies. Just saying. Herman Cain, anyone?
I went twice.
Do we know if Herman Cain voted before he passed away? If he voted early in that window of time?
We had 38,000, 42,000, I think maybe even a third time. Well,
same people over and over. So what?
40,000. And
in Butler. Was it in Pittsburgh? Did you fill a stadium in Philly? No. That's where all the fucking people are.
I left. I said, not possible to lose. And then all of a sudden you lose just by a whisper. No,
you lost by a lot in Pennsylvania.
Fraudulent numbers shouldn't take months to accumulate with Democrats and rhino Republicans.
Accumulate.
In the way of every single step we take. They're in the way. We got them by surprise. You know, we all got them by surprise in 2016. And they said, we'll never let this happen again.
And they kicked your ass. Right. 9 volunteers and a couple of Chinese hackers, and you went down like a chump. It's got to feel terrible. Satire.
They worked hard for 4 years, and yet.
And you lost. And yet what?
We did far better in 2020 than we did in 2016.
And yet still not good enough.
It was a rigged election. You know, it's very interesting.
Cain died in July. Okay, so probably not then. Never got a chance to vote.
A reporter from one of the people.
Another Trump voter who never got a chance to vote.
Standing back there, big one, on the liberal side, said, what was the difference between
this is because we did better in 2020.
2020 and 2016? I said, well, the primary difference was I did much better in 2020 than
everybody did much better because mail-in ballots work. More people voted than ever. If you think mail-in voting is fraught with fraud and fake and all that shit, then you don't get to count the extra votes that came from the process in 2020.
Did in 2016. The rallies were bigger. The enthusiasm was even greater, if that's possible.
It's not possible. There was a lot of people. The same people were at your rallies all the time. Every time you get somebody and you ask them they've been to 10 or 15 rallies, they're deadheading. It's not the same thing as having a fresh voter in a district. A lot of these people, including the Blacks for Trump, for example, who are always behind you, aren't from Iowa. They're not from Alabama. They're from Jersey, I think.
And we got far more votes, almost 75 million votes, more than any sitting president has ever gotten.
Because of mail-in voting working.
Last time we got 63, we got 12 million more votes. No president in history has ever gotten that many more votes from the
But that's also true every time you gain more humans.
Time before, not even close. So we got 63 million in 2016. I was told by the best pollster.
All you have to do is buy 10 million votes and you're in. So we'll just rig the election in a bunch of Republican states and drive up the popular vote for you, and then in a couple of the important electoral college ones, we'll get a bunch of dead voters and a bunch of underage voters who will do stuff, and we'll try our best to make sure that they don't get thrown out and all that kind of. We'll double vote, and we'll make sure that your supporters go in, they'll vote by mail, and then they'll walk in, and hopefully some of those will be counted. That'll pad the vote up good in a lot of the swing states, and it might be close because you're polling for shit in a lot of these, surprisingly, in a bunch of these states that you won last time, but you didn't win by much last time, and this time it's going to be even worse, satire. And, turns out mail-in voting makes it easier for everybody to vote, and a lot of people decided to vote this time because you're a dick. Well, no refunds.
Supposedly the best pollster. I won't use his name because you have other good pollsters.
Rasmussen.
But you have mostly really
It was Rasmussen.
bad pollsters. Evil pollsters. Crooked pollsters.
Evil pollsters.
But they came to me and they said, sir, you got 63 million votes. If you get 64 million votes, you can't lose. If you get 65, it's over, sir.
Well, it turned out not to be the case. And spoiler alert for everybody who's going to watch the rest of this with me on Wednesday. None of that worked out in his favor. Thanks for joining me, guys. I've got to get out of here because I got to go to rehearsal. We got a gig tomorrow, and it's the longest set we've done. Yes, I do need to go, so I'm heading out. I'm going. I just like you guys, and it's fun, and we hang out, and then I could get carried away, and you know me, I could be here all night. And some of these speeches, when we've done the whole thing, I have been. So I appreciate you guys helping me stay honest. It means a lot. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can. Maybe I could do it. Open in the app. Try and do it there. You can tell how the microphone picks up all the interference. Let's see. I did open in the app. What are you doing? Hopefully this will work up. And I'm going to try and see if we can jump over to CSL, you can air raid for us, can't you? I think so. Yes, thank you. For the reminder as well, but CSL, can you help me air raid Richard if he's still on? Let me know, and I'll stay on until you say yes or no. It gives me a minute because it's always like a delay with the chat room and everything. So, oh yes, Chip's not here with me. Thanks, guys. I will get out of here. Okay, done. Thank you. Okay, cool. So we're doing an air raid of our dear friend Richard Airborne, and I will see you guys. I might pop on tomorrow, just in short, like do a quick stream backstage before our gig, and kind of. I brought my laptop and some other stuff with me so that I could, I don't think I could stream the gig from there because it won't let us, but I can put it backstage and after everybody's changed clothes. And anyways, I'll let you know tomorrow, but if it doesn't happen, I apologize. It's a connection issue where we're going to be. And then I will see you guys for the regular show on Wednesday. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else, and be well. Okay, bye. Thank you, guys, and thanks for the super chats and support today. I really appreciate it. I know it's hard for me to call out when I'm using this format, but